Democrat Senator Joe Manchin blames a lack of leadership for the U.S. credit rating downgrade.
Manchin is calling the Fitch ratings downgrade from AAA to AA+ a, quote, historic failure of leadership by both political parties and the executive branch. Manchin has been an outspoken critic of the government's $32 trillion debt load. In April, he criticized President Biden for showing what he called a deficiency of leadership when Biden at first refused to compromise with Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Now, Manchin says both parties and the White House have an opportunity to confront the crisis with the end of the fiscal year approaching at the end of September. Bob Agnew reporting.
The Russian ruble has dropped against the U.S. dollar in trading in Moscow to its lowest level since the first month of the war in Ukraine. Today's decline to 95 rubles against the dollar continues the Russian currency's consistent fall since the start of the year. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. Let's have a listen. What does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio. Yeah!
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. I'm back. That would be me.
It would not be me.
Yes. Thank you, Sean.
No, of course, man. No problem.
Filling in yesterday. I'm still not 100.
It was cool. It was no problem at all. The panic was, and I think that it came off as like aggression, but it was panic because my son was giving me issues yesterday morning. I was miles away from here, and he was like, "Hey, you want to jump on and be in two places?" I actually made the joke yesterday. I was pulling off the Fonzie thing.
Yeah.
I was dating two morning shows at the same time.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, it was not good yet.
No,
if I would have came in, y'all would have been grossed out by me.
One of the things I admire most about Mike is when he vomits, he commits. I've never seen somebody more violently throw up. I know this is a horrible conversation to start off.
Good morning, everybody.
But and we're about to talk about that too. But I've never seen someone throw their back into it like you do. It's impressive.
I don't practice.
I know it's a natural ability you have. That's like a genetic skill.
Thanks.
Thank your daddy for that one.
Thanks.
You're getting it all out. Getting all that evil out. But no, it's...
Yeah, I've got something. And to be honest, I'm not 100%. Mm-hmm. I'm 100% better than yesterday, but I'm certainly not ready to tackle on...
You're not hitting all-you-can-eat rib night?
Yeah, I just kind of still want to sleep. And I slept. I slept hard. Like yesterday, last night.
Mm-hmm.
I spent a lot, and I still could go back for another 8. So
I will say that every other Friday night, I collapse. Like after a week of dadding, I'm like, I'm dead. So I understand exactly where I come from. Like there's never enough amount of sleep.
Although I will argue for the moments I was awake, yesterday during the day, because I kind of crashed out my recliner in the living room, and that's where I kind of spent the day. And when I went into the living room that morning and sat down and turned on the TV, kudos to FX on their movie selection for the day, because I just sat down and turned it on, and I was like, oh, dang, Back to School's on. And I just put it on. Yeah.
Back to School?
Yeah, like 7 in the morning, 6:37 in the morning,
Wow.
Back to School was on on FX. So I just turned it on there and then crashed in the chair.
Uh-huh.
And then every so often I'd wake up and what else was on? Tag was on, and I watched
that is an underrated movie. That's
a great movie.
Such a freaking good movie.
Some movie I'd never seen with Ashton Kutcher and Katherine Heigl.
Oh,
and their spies.
Yeah.
Tom Selleck is in it.
I vaguely remember that movie from a few years ago.
I was like, what is this movie? I still didn't catch the name of it because I didn't touch the remote, but I saw, I'd say a quarter of it in my segments.
It's called Killers.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was on.
Nice.
And so I was like, hey, this is different. So I caught bits of that.
What's really I know exactly where you're coming from is those moments where you dip in and out of consciousness while you're watching something.
Yeah.
What's funny is when you go back and rewatch it, you're like, I don't remember any of that. Oh, I remember that part. Or you wake up, you kind of come back into consciousness, you're like, you just a quick laugh, and then you're back into slumber.
Yeah.
That's nice.
But that killer, I was like, what is this movie? And I was like, is that Tom Selleck? And then, and his wife's, what's her name from Saturday Night Live? Coneheads,
Jane Curtin?
Yeah, I think,
Really?
I think
Oh,
that's, I think that's the wife, yeah. It was like it was an all-star cast.
Sounds like
it was like crazy, but it's an okay movie.
Dang. I hadn't even heard of it. Well, I mean, I heard bits of it, but that's a sleeper.
Yeah, they were.
Pardon the pun.
But I was just like, dang, and you know what? The 10 minutes of Back to School I caught before I fell asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Such a great movie. Just like, and I caught the scene where Sam Kinnison's in it,
right?
And you know, he's doing the
in the schoolboy outfit,
the history teacher.
Yeah,
Trumpet was too much.
That's a weird lineup, though. I gotta admit,
yeah.
You go from Back to School to Tag to Killers. That's
I think technically it was Back to School, Killers, then Tag.
Okay.
But yes.
Speaking of Tag, I watched a little bit of the. I guess it's Tag season because I watched a little bit of the championship, the tournament over the weekend, or a couple days ago. That is an intense sport. I'm talking about the world of professional tag, and yes, that's a thing. That's intense. Like they go hard.
Well, that tag movie, those guys were hard too. I mean,
a lot of parkour, a lot of like. What's so funny is you get the situation where two people are at the opposite ends of a thing, and they start doing the thing, but they're all like you can dive through them, so they get to here, and one guy like suicide dives at the guy, and he narrowly misses his shirt by like a millimeter.
Oh, wow.
They had to do like a photo replay.
The tag is go to the tape.
Let's go to the tape. There's just a ref in a box that's covered,
and you see the shirt like blown out, and just the hand just
drift, right? There's a shadow, not a fingertip.
Preseason football was on last night. I didn't watch it.
Right,
but
first game of the season.
Yeah, the Hall of Fame game. And I have no idea who won. It was the Jets and the Browns. I think this who was on there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so you saw Aaron for a hot minute.
Congratulations to the New York Jets on our sloppy seconds.
But it's Green Bay. Green Bay is one of those teams that are always in the hunt. They spend the least amount of money. But they're just well built.
I'm not optimistic about this season. I feel like we're going to be building this year, but we'll get back.
Green Bay Packer fans that complain about their team, I'm like,
I didn't believe in Aaron Rodgers for the first couple of years until he proved himself.
I have no shame for you or no sympathy for you.
The whole reason I got into the Packers into cheering for the Packers in the first place is because of Favre.
Right.
And
it's just when they complain
left,
about their team, I'm like, I say things I'm not allowed to say on the radio to them because I'm like, I've rooted for the Commanders.
I've been in the crap. You know what this is like? No, you don't, because you're not a Jacksonville Jaguars fan.
Exactly. I'm like, wow, my team's only been perennially good all its existence.
In fairness, I will say I understand where you're coming from because my brother-in-law is a Patriots fan, or was a Patriots fan under
Belichick.
Under the rule, the rule.
Yeah, because prior to that team stunk.
Oh yeah, but it's of course you're going to root for the team that always wins.
Yeah, there were some Patriots teams in the 80s that you would not be impressed with. They did go that 85 year against the Bears and lost, but the Patriots stunk. For
in
most
fairness,
of the 80s.
I will say this: Mikey, my brother-in-law, was a turncoat because as soon as Brady left, he's
back. Did he go to the Bucks?
Yeah, he was like, "I'm a Bucks fan now." I'm like, "You're a turncoat."
So who's he like now that he's retired?
I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a year. It's the beauty of separation, my friend. You don't have to keep up with backstories.
I get that. I understand. Having most of my family back east, I kind of pop in, pop out.
Right.
The drama goes through. I'm like, ooh, I'll see you later.
I get to check out.
But what were we talking about originally? I forget, but I'm going to move on.
We were talking about Tag.
The movie Tag.
Yes.
Oh, but you know what I was going to say? For folks that have never seen that movie or don't know anything about it, that movie's actually based on a
actual story.
True story of a group of friends that started this tag game when they were kids. And as they got to be adults and have gone on and been successful in their lives, they continue to play the game of tag in the month of May every year.
Yep.
And so that's it.
But the way it's portrayed, because it takes tag to a whole, like you're jet setting now.
Oh yeah. They're disguising and hiding and going in crazy, almost illegal situations to go and tag people. It's pretty like in the movie, and I don't know if the guys in real life how high up they were in their jobs and things, but in the movie, like one of them's like an executive of a major corporation.
Yeah, he's like a CEO. He's like wearing a suit, and then he breaks out. And
and the one guy, one of the buddies, tags him when like he's with an interview with who is she with, like the Wall Street Journal, something or some big periodical of some kind, and then she ends up following him in the tag story rather than doing the story on the guy, and that's kind of how it all spawns in the movie. But it's actually a good movie. It's a good buddy movie, and it's a lot of funny too. So if you ever get sick in the middle of the day,
Jeremy Renner, John Hamm, Ed Helms, Jake Johnson, and Isla Fisher.
Yes,
yeah, as well as Annabelle Wallace, Leslie Babb. There's a few more, but Jeremy Renner and Ed Helms. Two of my favorite characters in that whole movie.
Yeah.
Just so good.
Although
Ed Helms is good in pretty much everything I've ever seen him in.
Isla Fisher, who plays Ed Helms' wife in that movie, has a great role in that too.
She does. She's
like overzealous on this.
You don't see it coming from her often enough because like she's married to Sacha Baron Cohen. I mean, she's gonna have a sense of humor about herself, but you just don't see it because she's hot. You're not supposed to also be funny. That's not fair.
Well, you saw her in Wedding Singer or Wedding Crashers.
Honestly, where my favorite role that I've ever seen her in was oh my god, it literally just left my head.
Yeah.
The Andy Samberg movie, Stuntman.
Hot Rod.
Hot Rod. Why did I not think of Hot Rod?
It's like your favorite movie.
It's like a condition. When we're trying to think of something, it just sinks under the surface. That's like my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, Hot Rod.
I'm ashamed.
Well, sometimes you have brain cramps.
God, just cut to the McDonald's plug.
I'm not going to participate today, but you should.
Yes, you
Swing
should.
by any of your McDonald's here in town and get you a delicious breakfast. What did we get in the bag today?
I haven't perused. I saw a collection of hash browns among the top of
I do love hash browns. Not today, though.
I will say this. There was an announcement made earlier this week. Now, it's at participating locations, so I can't necessarily say it's going to be here.
Okay.
I'm hearing good word that McDonald's is bringing back steak as a breakfast protein.
Oh, God. God, please say this is true.
And bagels. I'm just saying, Mike, you can make childhood happen again if this is all true.
Well, if that does happen, Roy, standing order.
Every Friday, just like the Coke Zero.
That's what I want. Right. So,
now, do you go steak, egg, and cheese? Do you go steak and egg? Do you go steak and cheese? How do you do it?
Typically steak, egg, and cheese.
Okay.
Because I'm a more to the party guy. But any variation with the steak, I'm good with.
I've always preferred protein and cheese. Take the egg out of the equation for the most part. I like a soft boil. I like a soft yolk.
And now, how do you feel about putting eggs on burgers?
If it's, again, a soft yolk, yes. Yeah. Like if it's a runny egg, sure.
Well, that's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
People that don't do it that way are overcooking the egg.
I'm not. I'm not I'm not a huge fan of a hard yolk, and you're hard pressed to get a soft yolk, when you're cooking on a flat top. So I just try to knock it out of the equation, generally speaking.
I just like, usually I'll say I've been lucky because every time I get like a fried egg on a sandwich, they usually keep the yolk factor going on.
That's kind of the point of having egg on a burger, is
it
for the
adds
runniness.
the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
that jam.
But I'm all of the above.
Absolutely. So you load it up.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, but in like Philly cheesesteak world, if I'm getting choices, mushroom, cheese, and onion.
Oh, okay,
that's my go-to.
Now, are you a Whiz with?
Yeah, I like the Whiz.
Yeah, you know what? And it's definitely one of those that's like not a popular opinion unless you're from the area, but I'm a fan of the Whiz.
I do.
I like that Whiz.
And to be honest, that's what makes it a cheese steak. If it doesn't have the Whiz, it's steak and cheese.
Huh. I guess I never thought about that. It's you get top billing if there's two types of cheese versus one type of steak.
Technically, that's what defines a Philly cheese steak is the Whiz immersed in through the steak, the cheese Whiz. If you have the steak and then you put cheese on it, that's just a steak and cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Delicious.
I guess you're not wrong.
But not technically a cheese steak.
I haven't heard the word cheese whiz in a long time.
No?
I haven't heard the word cheese whiz in a long time.
I don't know if I hear it every day, but I hear it.
It's not it's not a super popular product in this part of the country, but I still see it on the shelves. If I'm walking down the
Is it the spray
It's
cheese?
canned
no,
cheese.
it's in a jar.
Yeah.
It's spreadable.
Well, Cheese Whiz is a brand name, like Kleenex. There are the knockoff or the generic versions of the Cheese Whiz.
What's the spray cheese called? The kind you just kind of.
Well, I've heard it called squeeze cheese. I've heard it called easy cheese.
Whiz too. I think Cheese Whiz does make a squeezable version.
I think I called
so.
that cheese whiz.
When I was a
kid.
I think it gets all lumped together. Is all in the genre of Cheese Whiz.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was a. That's
but
what I called it when I was a
Cheese
kid.
Whiz is a company that makes a spreadable cheese, but I think they also have a canned version that you can spray and on your whatever you got
It's a
there.
delightful sound when describing your culinary.
Well, it works well on crackers. You get a Ritz.
Easy cheese is what it's called. In the can. It says so. Easy cheese is a trademark for the processed cheese.
That's the
spread
brand.
Product distributed. Yeah, well, it's the trademark.
Yes.
It's also referred to as spray cheese, cheese fizz, or simply as cheese in a can.
Cheese fizz?
Cheese fizz.
Maybe that's why I
Google
called it
says.
cheese whiz
Maybe.
instead of cheese fizz.
Cheese Fizz.
See, I always called it easy cheese. That's how the brand I remember seeing on the store shelves. It's also weirdly expensive. Like if you get it, because I had a random treat cheese and crackers craving the other day or a while back, and I got a can. It's like $5 for a can of easy cheese.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Have you tried the Ritz trick yet? I've never tried it, but if you take a can of the spray cheese and you put a Ritz cracker, the center dot, the center hole, you put it right in there, and you start the can, it will perfectly put a thing of cheese on your.
Really?
That's everything I've seen online does it. I've never tried it, but I've seen several videos that do it.
Okay. I've never.
I'd be intrigued to try it. What we're trying to say is visit McDonald's.
Yes. I
all
haven't
we're
even got
trying to
there
say.
yet. You still got it rolling on the thing, but McDonald's definitely use the app. That's where you can really save time, save money, get free food.
Absolutely.
It really is a game changer, especially if you're on the go or busy. You got the kids, or you got 20 minutes between your next meetings before meals. Boom! Just hit that app and you can do it real quick.
I do wish you would change your order back to the unsweet tea once in a while. Just to
Would you like me to?
just mix it up.
Tell you what,
every
Roy,
now and then.
Next week, bring me an unsweet tea.
He's like, I wish you would make my job a little more complicated.
I would be happy to, Roy. Tell you what, on every odd Friday, I want.
On the Fridays I don't have my kids, Mike enjoys tea.
It's more so on the cold nights because then I don't have to. I'd rather hold the unsweet tea, which is already, it has to be iced. It's not already cold like Coke is.
So if it's hot out, you want me to drink Coke Zero, and if it's cold out, you want me to drink iced tea?
I think that's what he's saying.
Okay. So is there like when the clocks change? What are we talking here?
What's the line of delegation for
There's no
beverage
line.
separation?
There's no line. It's just...
You sure? I don't mind. I don't care. I like them both.
Bro, I think what we're trying to ask is, where's the line?
just keep it kind of loosey-goosey.
Tell you what.
Keep it loosey-goosey.
Tell you what, and I'm saying it here in the public.
Uh-huh.
I give you carte blanche, Roy.
Ooh.
Between the two beverages, keep in the wheelhouse, unsweet iced tea or Coke Zero. Surprise me every week.
You know, if we're putting in beverage orders, I would enjoy a nice Sprite every morning or every Friday. I mean, if we're really going to make this a topic of conversation, I never really thought about it before, but...
By the way, I haven't had any of my beverage yet. I'm going to have some right now.
Now we're going to add another drink to the pile.
Well, if you think about it, if we add another drink, they're going to have to break out the cup carrier, which makes your job that much easier because your hand isn't concerned about the temperature of the beverage.
Sure. And balance, because the cup carrier will go do some of that for you.
That's right.
See.
Depends on what they give you. Like
it's like a
I like the cardboard sleeve.
I prefer that one because the 4. Now I will say this: if you have 2 drinks and a bag, the 4 cup carrier is great. Because you put the bag with the 2 cups and just carry the whole thing.
Yeah, it really feng shui's well.
It does.
Have you seen their new 2 cup carrier at McDonald's?
Yes, that's the
that's the other one. Yeah,
and
which is handy for 2 drinks.
Yes, it reminds me of the cinema popcorn boxes, the kind that hold your popcorn.
Oh yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
like
which by the way, there's a TikTok I watched yesterday. Apparently, we've been buttering our popcorn wrong this whole time. What you're supposed to do is take a straw, put it over the nozzle into your popcorn, and then you can butter your whole bag of popcorn, not just the top.
I've seen that TikTok move, and I've seen that. I also saw a video of a guy
stick the straw in the popcorn.
Into the popcorn, yeah, and then you're doing it
because in any way that's cutting through the layers, and you're getting directly down deeper into the core.
The core of the corn.
Yeah. Watch any Center of the Earth movie.
Yeah.
Same principle.
Jules Verne really had it going on.
But I saw a video of this guy that worked at a movie theater, and he was just a probably teenage, college age kid. Yeah, I don't know if our guest is coming. I was just thinking it's not out there, right? It's going to be 7:30. I don't know if a guest yet, do we?
I'm going to go do the other show for a second.
We're supposed to have a guest. I haven't seen them yet, so I've been telling you about popcorn and McDonald's. So, so this guy, he just works at the movie theater or whatever, and but he's doing cocktail with popcorn. You know, movie Cocktail.
Oh yeah.
With Tom Cruise. He's
so
doing
he's
that.
Tossing it around.
Yeah.
Really?
He's doing the whole, and then he hits the butter and.
Popcorn's a lot looser of a material than a liquid.
This guy
I'm
was
impressed.
doing it, and
Nice.
And he wasn't. He's just some dude that works at a movie theater, just doing his thing.
The guy's just standing all right, buddy. I got 3 minutes of trailers before my movie starts. Can we get to it? I got to get into Oppenheimer. Can you wrap up the show?
I'd be willing to wait because I'm going to bet, just based on the way he was doing it, that bag of popcorn was the most evenly buttered bag of popcorn I've ever
That's
seen.
right. It was all shaky.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I bet every single kernel in there got equal amount of butter flavor. It was it was impressive. I was like, dude, I want that guy just to follow me. And do that.
No, that's just my popcorn guy.
I got a popcorn guy.
That's right. If I ever hit the Mega Millions, I'm gonna be a popcorn guy.
Yeah, but again,
I knew a girl who
good
would,
for you,
would
Roy.
put her.
You knew you had it in you. Go ahead.
She'd get a whole popcorn tub and just fill it with butter, and and the bottom would be so greasy.
So there's like an inch or two of butter at the bottom of the bucket, kind of thing.
No, not like that. Not just filled with liquid.
Like soup of butter at the bottom.
I just picture somebody breaking out a whole lobster.
She just goes ham with it.
That's awesome. I mean, that's somebody that commits. I appreciate that.
She'll be dead at 32, but
if you go
I think
to
she
movies,
is 32.
Bad omen. If you go to the movies and just ask for an extra cup for, we'll call it water, and then just fill that bad boy up with butter, you could really just butter as you go.
Yeah, exactly. Or just dip it in.
Go lobster style.
Can I get a cup to dip?
A bib. It's gonna get messy. Over here cracking corn.
Well, and I would, you know what I wish we had, because I keep seeing them, and I know, we don't have them, but and they started getting more trendy after COVID. Is like the Alamo Cinema Draft House style of of theater going.
Sit down, have yourself a steak and a baked potato, and we'll catch a show.
It's like going to Outback Steakhouse and watching a movie. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And
what's cool about those
is
they're like pivoting a bit. Like, they show movies, but they're also doing like pay-per-views now.
Okay,
like
fights and stuff?
You can get the UFC matches, like at select Alamo draft houses, or and I hesitated on this one, but AEW does some of their pay-per-views at select Alamo draft houses. So yeah, that's a nice way to catch a show.
Yeah,
for sure.
I could totally see how like a wrestling event or something like that.
But those go real long. You'd have to be there for a while. We're talking like 5 hours.
Or you just keep filling them with beer and food.
It's like a Lord of the Rings.
I'm pretty sure wrestling fans are a gluttonous bunch.
We're not thin. Hey, none of us claiming thinness.
We got 3 dinners in that 6 hours while you're sitting there watching wrestling. The more you get, woo, give me the beer and a chicken salad sandwich.
I'm eating this steak like a hand fruit.
Yeah, they're like Marvel fans.
If I can see the bottom of this plate of tenders, you're getting fired. Keep it coming. I don't want to see the bottom of this plate.
Yeah, they're like most Marvel fans, like you said, rabid, and mostly with diabetes.
They're mostly with diabetes. and
Chock full.
And the T-shirt with the Captain America logo on it.
I threw that away. Okay, I don't wear that anymore. I'm trying to grow up. It's solid color tees as I enter my 39th year.
You know what? I was the other day. And this is before y'all's time. You know of them, Sean, but I think it was technically before your time. Maybe not. And I saw an ad in like an old for Underoos.
Oh yeah.
And they were, and in the ad, I'm like, oh, those are the ones I had, like, because I had like at least 3 or 4 different Underoos sets. I had Batman. I had Spider-Man. I had
Superman Underoos.
Superman as well. And
DC had a really good contract with
and I had a
people.
Flash one, if I remember right.
So it's all DC properties.
Yeah, I had a Flash one. A red.
You know what? You don't necessarily want to see the Flash on your son's underpants.
No, I was like, well, and technically all the logo was on the T-shirt because it was just a red, like almost like the Sheldon like T-shirt, and then it was like tighty whities but red.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. And then same thing with the Spider-Man and the Superman.
No, my generation had, and they sort of still have them, but they're not the same. We had Garanimals.
Oh, I had Garanimals. I remember Garanimals. Yeah.
Where you could match the tops and the bottoms based on the animals.
Yeah. No. I was in the Underoos, and they had the Wonder Woman one too. Obviously, I didn't have that. But they were the underwear that's fun to wear. That was their slogan. The underwear that's fun to wear. And boy, how do they wear at my age? I was a big underpants proponent when the Underoos came
Literally,
out.
the picture that popped into my head, and I'm going to be careful as I say this. Little boy shirtless with a sheet tied around his neck like a cape, wearing the Underoos. That was basically me growing up.
Yeah, and I did the same thing. Yeah.
That's the look.
Yeah.
This is you, Dennis.
Every towel, blanket, everything like that turned into a cape of some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
Yes. You know, that was, oh man. And then, but I remember seeing like later there were some knockoff versions, but the ad I saw was like, nope, those are the ones. Those are the ones I had when I was a kid.
The other thing is, and my mom swore by these and loved them to death. Do you remember Tough Skin jeans?
Oh, I owned my entire elementary school existence. If you see pictures of me, I'm wearing Tough Skins.
You could drag a kid behind your car to school. He'd be gone, but the pants would still be perfect.
Yes.
He would just be ground up.
Problem was, I too was poor.
Yeah.
So I literally wore Tough Skins until they were no longer Tough Skins.
Like you wore the tough out of the skin.
I had holes in my Tough Skins.
Heck yeah. That shows commitment. That's what that is. Did you wear a hole in steel?
After 5th grade in the ridicules, I finally convinced my mom to stop buying Tough Skins for 6th grade. But yes, through my elementary school years, I was in the Tough Skins.
I don't remember much of my 5th grade year. Like, there's not a lot of memories that stick out. There is one that I will never be able to live down / forget, mostly because I keep bringing it up. I don't know why. But I chose one day to go to school in the 5th grade wearing a pair of Lycra bicycle shorts. I have no earthly idea what went through my head that thought this would be a good look for me, but I got off the bus and immediately regretted it.
Did you see a movie that
No,
somebody
I
looked
don't
cool?
even. I don't. It wasn't triggered by anything pop culture. I just had acquired these shorts, and I'm like, yeah, that's a look.
See, what came to my head when you said it was, did you watch that Western Flyers movie?
Radio Flyer?
Not Radio Flyer.
Okay, because Radio Flyer was big for me growing
Yes.
up. But
No. This was, and I thought we've talked about this movie before. I think it's called Western Flyer. It starred a young Kevin Costner.
Okay.
And his brother was a semi-famous guy at the time too, in the movie. And I think Tom Skerritt's in it now that I think about it too. And they're bicycle racers.
Okay.
And Kevin Costner's the older brother. The younger brother's got some kind of cancer or something, and they're racing in the race together, the Tour de France or Tour de something.
Let's see.
Oh no, it's not Tour de France. It's some kind of rough road
All
race.
it's come up as Radio Flyer.
I want to say it's like Western Flyers. It came out in the 80s, but they were all wearing bicycle shorts and stuff a lot.
You said who was in it?
Kevin Costner.
Okay.
He's the biggest actor in it. He's there is
American Flyers.
American Flyers. There it is. That's the one.
Kevin Costner, David Marshall, Radon Chong.
Yes,
Wow.
Radon Chong was in it. Yes.
A hot young Radon Chong.
I love this movie back in the day, by the way. I watched this movie 1,000 times.
Jennifer Grey was in it.
Oh, I forgot she was in it. That's right. She played a girl they picked up on the road.
Leslie.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I thought maybe you saw that.
No, it's not that.
Because after you watch that movie, there's so many bicycle Lycra shorts in there.
No,
I thought maybe.
I think I got them from like a Goodwill or from like some thrift store, and I just thought they looked cool. But boy, when you get the judgments of your peers, that you thinking you're cool goes way out the window real quick.
Did you wear at least a shirt long enough to cover?
It was a shirt, but it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't like a belly shirt or anything.
Like,
it was
like, were you on display or were you covered by shirt?
No, I was. It was all me, my friend.
Yeah, you caught a lot of flack.
Me.
At least with a longer shirt, you're covering.
Put it this way:
things.
I am very, very glad that the school system that I was in, 5th grade, was still elementary school.
Yeah.
Because I then went to middle school at a different school and was completely able to
yes, separate.
There was a
from
couple
the
that followed with me, but I went to the unpopular school. So there were 2 middle schools where I went, and one was all portables.
Okay.
I went to that one.
Okay.
Ironically called Mountain View.
Portable Mountain View. Oh, man. We didn't have a lot of mountain views out where we were. We don't have mountains.
Well, it wasn't this Mountain View. It was Mountain View in Rio Rancho. But yeah, it had a Mountain View for sure.
I think every community that has mountains has a Mountain View something in it.
And usually the flat places have like a hill valley.
Right.
P.S. blank.
All right, we were supposed to have the folks from Victor Outreach join us. I don't think they're going to be here today. So let's do this. Let's move on with our hour. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather. Spoiler alert, more hot, and that's about it.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Hot and dry this weekend. We're expecting sunshine today as high pressure takes over in eastern New Mexico. Our afternoon highs 104 to 106. Well, the overnight hours, it'll be clear with our low in the mid-70s, and then even hotter on Saturday. Our afternoon highs 106 to 108, and we get sunshine at 105 for the afternoon high on Sunday and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 72 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 50%. Winds are calm at the moment. We do have a heat advisory that's going to kick in at noon, remaining in effect through 7 p.m. For today, sunny and hot and 106 with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 74 degrees, south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, 108 tomorrow, mostly sunny and 108. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly clear with an overnight low of 74 degrees. Winds will be out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny, 105. Winds out of the north, 15 to 20 for the afternoon. So it's going to be a little breezy for Sunday as well. Sunday night, mostly clear and 74 for an overnight low. And then looking at next week, I'm not seeing anything talk of rain, just sunny, and pretty much 105 to 106 every day. 106 on Monday, 105 on Tuesday, 108 Wednesday, 106 on Thursday. So more of the same. All right, it is 7:36. We're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. We'll also pause for news. We'll be back on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
More than 50 million Americans live with chronic pain. If you're experiencing pain that interferes with your daily life, Artesia General Hospital can help. Dr. Casey Della Barca and our compassionate team of providers treat a variety of conditions, including arthritis, back and neck pain, migraines, neuropathy, and more. We offer advanced procedures and comprehensive therapy, and we personalize treatment plans to help you get back to living a quality life. Request an appointment at artesiageneral.com/pain.
Most of the problems that people have with plants comes down to basic farm management. That means knowing what to plant and when to plant it. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Planting at the wrong time usually leads to disappointment and heartache, sort of like your first love. But planting at the right moment puts Mother Nature on your side, and that makes growing things easier and a whole lot more fun. So before you plant anything, come to see us at Roswell Seed, or just give it a try and hope for the best. It gives me a chance to say, I told you so.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Do you struggle with acne, eczema, or worry about skin cancer? Research suggests that 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer by the age of 70, but when detected early, 99% of skin cancer cases are curable. At Epiphany Dermatology of Roswell, we place special emphasis on prevention, screening, and treatment, so schedule your annual skin exam by calling us at 575-208-7050 or by visiting our website at epiphanydermatology.com and get checked today. Prevention is key.
Now your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Sorello. This year's Governor's Awards for Excellence in the Arts includes a Hobbs resident. Jim Harris is one of 9 people who received awards this year. Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham said this year's recipients showcase the immense possibilities of the arts across New Mexico. These artists are musicians, authors, sculptors, and designers who push the boundaries of telling stories about the state and their lives through art. This is the 49th year for the awards, which were created to celebrate the extensive role artists and their work play in New Mexico. And the beginning of a new school year means new adventures for many children, new friends to meet, new teachers to get used to, new academic subjects to learn and master, and for some students, new school buildings to figure out. And with all this facing local kids as school begins on August 7th in Roswell, children may not be paying as much attention as they should to safely get to and from school. So, school and police are reminding everyone to talk to your students about staying safe while walking to and from school or to the bus stop. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
Although ChatGPT has been in use for only 8 months, there are few places online that haven't been touched by its inaccuracies. That's right, ChatGPT lies. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by RoboKiller, the best app for blocking spam calls and texts. Download the RoboKiller app and get 20% off with code KIM20. AI chatbots don't lie all the time, and that's the problem. Unless you're familiar with all the material chatbots write about, you can't readily spot the false information, which places every business, every organization, and every school student using ChatGPT at risk for some high-stakes consequences, like lawsuits, failing grades, and job losses. Yet Google is pitching a news-writing AI product to legitimate organizations, even though the AI is riddled with problems. Why all the problems? Chatbots collect all of their data from the internet, which is filled with lies and misinformation. Get tech smart every single day with my free newsletter. You can sign up right now at getkim.com. Have you ever read the fine print when you start browsing in incognito mode? It says that your activity might still be visible to your employer, school, or internet service provider. To really stop people from seeing the sites you visit, you need ExpressVPN. Think about all the times you've used Wi-Fi at a coffee shop, a hotel, or even at your parents' house. Without ExpressVPN, every site you visit could be logged by the admin of that network. And that's still true, even when you're in incognito mode. ExpressVPN is an app that encrypts all your network data and reroutes it through a network of secure servers so that your private online activity stays just that, private. ExpressVPN works on all your devices, and it's super easy to use. The app literally has one button. You tap it to connect, and your browsing activity is secure from prying eyes. Protect yourself at expressvpn.com/Kim and get 3 extra months free on annual plans. That's expressvpn.com/Kim, expressvpn.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Hot and dry this weekend. We're expecting sunshine today as high pressure takes over in eastern New Mexico. Our afternoon highs 104 to 106. Well, the overnight hours, it'll be clear with our low in the mid-70s, and then even hotter on Saturday. Our afternoon highs 106 to 108, and we get sunshine about 105 for the afternoon high on Sunday and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. A group of 12 or more cows is called a flink. If you have only 11 cows, that's called a lot of cow pies. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:44. Next hour, we're going to replay our interview we had with the Chaves County Health Council and Rick Lamb with Boys and Girls Club. Guess what tomorrow is?
Saturday.
Yes, and the Chaves County Health Fair.
Oh!
Yes, that starts, they're gathering about 6:30 in the morning. Yes, it's early for the run. And then about 8 or so.
That's not really for runners. They like it, early.
Well, it's a bubble run, fun run, so come goofy. Don't, you as long, you know what I'm saying, you don't have to take it seriously.
Yeah.
So, come as you are.
Yeah.
But and then the
shoes though.
Yes, good running shoes and pants maybe, or some kind of
anti-chafing.
Yeah, there, powder up,
nip tape.
All you need.
Real runners know. They know what you need.
Don't ask me. I don't run unless I have to.
Just some thigh lube and nip tape. That's all we need to get through this marathon.
I'd like to see an ice cream truck fun run, like when we were kids. And basically, it's just a bunch of kids, and then the ice cream truck
just
going
flooring it.
Yeah, well,
I used to think. Now I think I blame entertainment for this, but I used to think that the speed of the song that was playing was based solely on the speed of the driver.
As he drove
fast, and the song would just go. And I don't know what movie or TV show that trope was like made famous in, but that's
probably in several.
Right?
Like I seem to remember a whole King of Queens episode where he owns an ice cream truck and as the kids chasing around the neighborhood. Like I think that one's a turf war one,
right?
Like where he gets in a turf war with another ice cream truck guy. And
for some reason, I want to say it was like The Adventures of Pete and Pete. No, but it's always funny to me in those sitcoms when somebody you never expect just shows up randomly. Like I've been watching Modern Family.
Yeah.
There's a whole stint in the 3rd season that Kevin Hart was the Dunphys' neighbor, just out of nowhere for like half a season, and they became friends. Yeah. Kevin Hart and Phil Dunphy were just like fast friends.
I feel like those kind of things just begat because of like friendships with writers or producers
so
or
he called
somebody. And said, "Hey Kevin, you help us out, just do a little, a couple episodes." Feel like that's a thing. But anyway, what was I talking about?
We were talking about the health fair.
Oh yeah, I was like, what did I get? Where did we go with that? But the health fair is tomorrow, and that I think everything will kind of get underway about 8, and it'll be done about noon, and it's all at the convention and Civic Center
inside with the air conditioning.
Yeah,
check out the booths.
Tune into the interview next hour. Yeah. By the way, if you want to get like a mammogram or some of those, you need to sign up early. So today was probably your last chance to do that.
By the way, I want to make sure to mention this. If you're going to, and this is completely off topic, but if you're going to the Roswell Community Little Theater's dinner tomorrow evening, the Curtains Rising event, if you're going to eat, you need to have your food order in by no later than 3 p.m. today.
Okay.
They have to have your ticket and your food order so they can make sure they're ready.
Go to thelibertyinc.com and you can order. I did it the other day, so it's very easy.
Yes.
Your choices, I'm doing this off the top of my head, so please bear with me. I don't remember all the side dishes.
I vaguely remember some of them.
It's an herb-crusted salmon.
It's pecan-crusted salmon. Which sounds so good.
Yes. A Parmesan-crusted chicken. Or beef kebab, I believe is the third option. And then there's like a broccolini, a rice pilaf. I don't remember all the sides, but they're all good.
It's going to be good. And we're talking like world-class chef that's going to be making this thing.
I'm going with the chicken, my wife the beef. So
really?
We will...
Nobody opted for the salmon. That's the one that really stuck out to me.
Well, in all fairness, when I ordered mine, people were just like, what do you want, beef or chicken? I was like, chicken. And then when I ordered Kim's, I was like, oh, which one do you want? And so...
What's the line in Airplane? Did you have the beef or the chicken? I had the fish.
Yeah, it was the fish. I'm a pilot. But and by the way, for those going, it's a speakeasy night.
I heard it's
so you're going to have to
alternate entrance.
Yeah, you're going to be getting a password.
I actually found out. I don't know exactly how one would get in.
Yeah.
But I heard kind of what's going to be in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And it sounds really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to have a whole thing tomorrow night. So get your tickets now. You still get tickets for the play. Play will start at 8. Kind of the event with all the silent live auction. They're going to have a big 360 deal in there. All of that will get underway about 6, from what I understand. So, and then the play starts at 8. And so you'll eat dinner around 7, I think. And then everything will probably be done about 9:30, whenever, however long the play is there. And should be a fun night. So,
by the way, shout out to my friends Bryce and Alex, who are doing double duty on I Love You to Death and the play that's premiering next weekend, too.
Yeah, because right on the heels of that, they got their first show of the season, technically, back at the Communal Theater.
Yeah.
But 20's theme for Saturday night. So if you'd like to, and they're going to do best costumes and all that. So if you'd like to come in your 20's themes,
suits and flapper girls,
yeah, or some combination thereof. So
Gangsters, you got the hat with the feather in it, looking snazzy.
I got my big feather dress ready.
Rumble seats and what are those called? Suicide doors, where they open this way.
Yeah. Yeah, get you a whole Malone or Bugsy Malone look going on there, but it's gonna be a fun night. So that's tomorrow night out at the Liberty there, and I will be there in
official capacity.
I'm there to eat.
Yeah, but, they're paying Mike in food in herb crusted chicken.
But that'll be so busy Saturday with the health fair, with the evening out at the Liberty. There's other stuff going on too. There's so much things going on.
Yeah, I had to opt out because I think I can say this because none of my friends listen to this show. I'm attending a surprise party I'm not supposed to know about.
Yes. When is your official birthday?
My official birthday is Monday.
Monday. Yeah. Yes. So we will dress it then.
Everybody. Which is funny because that's when the kids go back to school. That's the gift.
Is that the gift, the present that? So
it's a few things. It's the kids going back to school, so I'm not or the kid because pre-K doesn't start till the week after. But it's that, and also my home is officially paid off. So yeah. So that's a plus.
It's a good time for
That's
you.
right. My tin can is all mine.
Things are coming together. The Hannibal
coming up small.
The Hannibal Smith at the A-team. He's loving it when the plan comes together.
I finally have a budget for Temu shopping.
Do you have something in a bag secretly? I keep hearing bag ruffling. Oh, okay. I'm like, what is he doing over there?
What is that?
What is that? You handing him something? What is that?
He's trying to put it in the shot.
Is that a burrito?
It's a burrito.
Oh, okay. I decided I'm not going to get into the bag until I run over to the Allsups and get myself a small can of jalapenos because I have a craving for an Egg McMuffin with jalapenos, and for some reason we can't make it happen.
Man, it's so hard. I don't know why.
I did try it this morning.
Oh well. Just I guess they don't come out till lunch.
Well, from what I gathered, there's a thawing situation. They're a thawing process.
I got you.
To get them ready for the lunch.
Okay.
Run. So I'm just going to be like that guy that carries a thing of La Costena jalapenos on him at all times.
Well, I wish you'd go in a trench coat and go order it yourself, and then pull out a jar of jalapenos out of the trench coat to put on.
Dude, I don't know why this reminded me of this, but so randomly, my friends Misty and Will, they'll like watch whatever. They've been watching this series called Gotham Knights, which just premiered or something like that.
That sounds familiar.
There's a guy who had to put on a cop uniform and like sneak into the police department.
Okay.
He puts this mustache on, and the only way I can describe him is in the outfit that he's wearing, he looks like two kids stacked up on top of each other in a trench coat trying to get into a movie. Like the hat looks like it's too big for him. The mustache is clearly fake. It's like, what are you even doing?
Is he walking wobbly like this?
Later in the show, there's no mustache. He's back at like headquarters or whatever. He's explaining what happened. I'm like, you look more like a cop now. You don't need the mustache, homie. Where are they going to recognize you? I didn't.
Well, we are in the world of there is a certain whenever now is this Gotham Knights related to the DC universe and all that? Okay, I thought maybe I was figuring. But,
CW show.
Yeah.
Okay. That's maybe why I've heard of it. I've maybe seen commercials for it or something. And that's different than Gotham.
It looks
the one that was
real.
on Fox,
From
right?
what I saw, it looks real bad.
Yeah. Well,
his mic.
Oh, I thought it turned on. Sorry. One thing I have to say, everything that comes on the CW ain't for you or me.
It's true. We're not the target demo.
I will say the Superman and Lois show is actually pretty good.
See, but I liked it back when it was Lois and Clark.
Right.
Back in the day.
Yeah, that was the 90s version. And that was for us then.
The amazing Dean Cain.
Yes, which this guy actually looks like he's of the same
Terry Hatcher was in, too.
That's right.
ethnicity of Dean Cain. Like, he looks like he's in that same vein of
Like he could be related to Dean Cain? Is that what you're saying?
No. Well, he looks related, but I don't know if he is.
Okay. I got you.
Wait, what are we implying here?
Nothing.
Nothing at all. It was just a period to the end of that sentence.
That's all I have to say about that.
I just don't know if you were hinting something.
I don't know.
No,
I was wondering what you were.
What happened was we learn about midway through your sentences that these stories may not go anywhere. We have to wait to the end to find out, but it may not go anywhere.
Well,
it may be the most amazing thing we've heard all day long, which is why we wait.
Well, no, you brought up Lois and Clark
Yeah.
and Dean Cain, and I said the main guy who plays Superman and Lois kind of looks like the same ethnicity.
All right, we got
it. That's the point.
I know. I'll mention it off air. I don't want to say it on air. What's red flagging me?
I don't see a problem.
Okay. I'll stay in 4 minutes. So, where were we?
And that's the point. The health fair, I believe.
Yes. Oh man. But I didn't like that show either. No. Anything that took Superman into a love story, I wanted nothing to do with.
Supernatural was a hard watch.
Yeah.
I watched a couple episodes. Like, no, this is teen drama.
And to be honest, Superman and Batman and pretty much all the DC characters have that problem because they reboot the story every couple years.
Yep.
And how many different variations of the Batman story have we heard?
I will say this.
As many as the Superman story.
DC has a problem with it, as does Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We do not need another reboot of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
We know the story.
Yeah.
We understand.
It's very well, and this was the debate I was having with Roy off air. I said the inherent problem with Superman as a character is he's too dang powerful. Other than kryptonite, which, by the way, why is kryptonite just available all over the place all of a sudden? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, you got to have a defense somewhere.
The planet blew up, and now everyone's got a piece of it, like the World Trade Center or something, at their house. You know, it's like, geez. But
this crossbeam was from Krypton.
Yeah,
it made its way across the country. People just chipped off a little piece.
But pretty much that. Right. I mean, he could literally, and that's just it. How do you make a movie where it? Technically, everything that's going on, he could literally end it in 3 minutes because he's Superman.
He's got laser vision. He's got heat vision. Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Now, my question is this. Is Superman faster than the Flash? If so, the Flash is completely irrelevant because the Flash's whole thing is that he runs fast.
Yeah.
But if Superman is actually faster than the Flash or as fast,
yeah,
and we know he is because in canon he can fly around the world fast enough to spin.
Well,
to
and
turn
there's
back
a
time.
scene in the. It's one of. I'm not sure if it's the Superman vs. Batman or the actual Justice League movie, but there's a scene where the Flash is running, doing his thing, and there's Superman just flying by him, going, "Hey, how's it going?"
Right. By the way,
yeah,
this is infuriating to me. In the original, the new reboot of Superman, whatever, Man of Steel.
Yes.
His dad didn't have to die. If Clark was Superman, in that tornado where Dennis Quaid or whoever it was like miles away or a couple, like a 500 feet away, Superman could have Supermaned and saved his dad. His dad died.
It was Kevin Costner, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kevin Costner. That's right. Yeah, you're right. He did not need to die. That was not a necessary death because you're Superman.
Wow.
And that's going to be your whole origin story is that you lost your... No, come on.
Problem is, when Dad's paycheck is more than actual Superman's paycheck for the sequel, Dad's getting killed off.
Superman, you stay here.
Your dad's too big of a star to pay him that much money for that small of a role. We got to kill him off.
Turns out, Brandon, you're not as big of a box office draw. No, it was... I think
it was Brandon Roush.
No, that was.
I get my Supermans mixed up.
That was Man of Steel. I'm thinking of the new Superman.
Okay,
that's the one with Kevin Costner.
Okay, yeah.
Man of Steel was Brandon Routh with.
Okay, I get them confused. All right, it is.
I think we just messed up canon.
All right, it is 8:00. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back on the other side of news.
See you in the deuce.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. America's employers grew their payrolls by 187,000 jobs last month. Nothing to sneeze at, but correspondent Jeremy Howe says it is a far cry from the 209,000 hires in June.
Despite the hiring slowdown, the economy continued to show strength in the face of higher interest rates. The unemployment rate dipped to 3.5%. The Fed wants to see hiring cool off. Strong demand for workers pushes up wages and can force companies to raise prices to make up for the higher costs.
Wall Street moved higher following this morning's release of the jobs report. He wants to get Jack Smith before the House Judiciary Committee. Florida Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz accusing the special counsel of conducting a political witch hunt targeting former President Trump. Gaetz says if Smith refuses to consent to an interview before the committee, a subpoena should be issued, and if Smith ignores the subpoena, Gaetz says he should be held in criminal contempt of Congress. Gas prices have soared recently, and now the Saudis planning a one-month extension of their million-barrel-per-day cut in oil output.
Patrick DeHaan is the senior oil analyst with GasBuddy.com.
It certainly puts a damper on things moving forward. The Saudis maintaining a pretty tight balance of supply and demand and potentially pushing the market more towards the side of imbalance. That's part of the reason why oil prices have rallied for 5 straight weeks. The price of oil now at $81 a barrel.
Which has pushed gas prices up over 20 cents in the last week to an average of $3.80 a gallon.
Absent a major hurricane, the increases should stop here in the next few days, and then we should stabilize, and maybe we'll drop just a little bit.
I'm Shelley Adler.
And watching Wall Street, stocks are higher following this morning's release of the jobs report. The Dow's up 137 points, the Nasdaq ahead 32, and the S&P 12 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
The Canadian province of Alberta has withdrawn its bid to host the 2030 Commonwealth Games. The provincial government saying the price tag is just too high.
The Games are held every 4 years and involve more than 4,000 athletes from the Commonwealth's 54 nations. Alberta had been considering a proposal centered around the cities of Edmonton and Calgary. But the provincial government said the estimated $2 billion cost would place too much of a burden on taxpayers. That's the same reason given last month by the state government of Victoria in Australia for pulling out of the 2026 event. It said it couldn't afford the estimated $4 billion needed to stage the Games.
The BBC's James Cowling. Veterinarians in Cyprus lauding a government decision to allow its stock of human COVID-19 medication to be used against a feline virus. It's killed thousands of cats on the Mediterranean island. News and analysis, townhall.com. Missouri plans to spend $50 million on railroad crossing safety upgrades.
It's in response to a 2022 fatal Amtrak derailment. Governor Mike Parson and state transportation officials on Thursday outlined options for how to spend about $19 million of that, including improvements at 27 crossings and the closure of 17 others. The site of last year's crash is among those recommended to be shuttered. The National Transportation Safety Board said Wednesday the poor design contributed to last year's derailment, which killed 4 people and injured 146 others. Before the crash, area residents had expressed concerns for nearly 3 years about the safety of the crossing. Keith Peters reporting.
Florida has executed a man convicted in the 1988 assault and murder of a woman. James Barnes was also convicted and was serving life in the 1997 murder of his wife. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to our number 2,
The Deuce,
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday. We finally made it. I'm back. I'm not 100%, but doing better than yesterday. Thanks, Sean and Roy, for holding down the fort while I was gone yesterday. You would not want me in yesterday. It was not pleasant. Back today doing a lot better than I was yesterday. So not ready to enjoy McDonald's food this morning, but you can be. So come on by to any McDonald's, hit you up with a delicious Egg McMuffin, or perhaps a hash brown and a sausage biscuit, or go treat yourself to a big breakfast this morning, or maybe something from the McCafe, or something like that. But swing on by, use the app, download that app, and utilize it. If you've never used it, you can order, and then once you order, you can pick it up indoors and sit down and enjoy it. You can go through the drive-thru and pick it up on your way, or even have it curbside picked up, something like that. But what you do is you go through the app and you do it that way, and then they give you a code. It's usually 2 letters and 2 numbers, like CV32, and you give them that.
For you, maybe.
Yeah.
I get 4 numbers every time.
I always get 2 letters, 2 numbers.
Huh.
I get 2 letters, 2 numbers.
What are you not telling us, McDonald's?
That's how I always get. It's 2
now,
letters.
I have
and 2
gotten
numbers.
2 letters, 2 numbers before, but that's usually when I'm dining in.
See, every time I get a code, it's 2 letters, 2 numbers.
Really?
I do. Every single time. And I've never dined in. It's always drive-through.
Maybe it's because you're so points rich that you.
Maybe it is. Maybe I hit the status.
He has like McDonald's App Plus.
He's like 2-letter guy.
McDonald's Silver.
Well,
that's just for McDonald's eaters over 65.
All I know is I'm not there yet.
I know.
All I know is every time I use it, I go through quickly. I go through, and it's. I want to spread this message to families. Use this app for your family.
Oh, absolutely.
When you've got 30 kids and you got a crazy thing going on.
If you've got 30 kids, you need to stop, first of all.
But I get it. When you're going through the drive-thru and one wants the Happy Meal with the cheeseburger, one wants it with the nuggets, one wants apple slices, one wants fries. I get it. And then they're all screaming at the same time. Go through the app. Everyone can order. And then when you get to the drive-thru, you don't have 20 people yelling out the window. You just say, I do have a mobile order. And they'll say, what's your 4-digit code? And you give it to them. And they say,
right this way, sir.
Is this you, Mike? Or is this you, Nancy? Or is this you, Ted? Hi. Yes, it is. And they drive on through.
One of my favorite things in the world is when you get to the first window and they say, for Sean? I go, it is.
Yes,
they go,
it is.
Go on ahead.
That's right. Would you like sometimes they say, would you like your receipt? I'm like, no, thank you. You keep it. And then have a wonderful day. And then we go on about. It's really quick. It's easy. It's so convenient.
It is.
And to be honest, for the sake of your fellow neighbors and community members, speed up that process. Don't be that person hogging up the line because you got everyone ordering at the same time and 20 things going on. Everyone is frustrated, including you, with those situations. So don't put yourself in one.
Which, by the way,
yes,
there needs to be. I don't know if every adult on the planet needs to attend a drive-through etiquette lesson. There is an order of operations in a 2-lane drive-through. Okay. Just because you think you need to be in front of me does not mean you need to be in front of me. If you completed your order before I did, then by all means.
Yes.
But if we maintain order, there is an order of operations. We're trying to keep it simple for the attendant.
Yeah, people get a little confused there once the order goes. Once you order, if you can go through, you go through.
Right.
But it's supposed to kind of work, one car, one car.
But when you do that
car,
thing where you're like taking all of the negative space up, it's like, I get it. You're not. I take the hint. I understand that you're the one that wants to.
It is
go
that
next.
passive aggressive, like, no, I'm next, not you. Don't
This
you
is
try to
clearly
cut in front of
me.
me.
Which, okay, I came to this conclusion the last time I drove to Artesia. If you are going slow in the right lane, and I go to pass you, that is not your signal to speed up. That happened to me like 4 times between here and Artesia. They were going like 10 under the speed limit. I go to switch lanes to pass them, and that was their, I guess I'm going slow, and they sped up. I'm like, we're not racing at this point. So now I'm going 80 to get past a car that was going 60. Now I'm the jerk.
Yeah. Yep. I've seen all of these things. And the left-hand lane riders annoy me more.
I
than
agree.
That one.
I agree.
Because they're the ones that really.
But I didn't want to be a left-hand lane rider, but I had to be because the guy in the other lane decided to not let me in.
Yep.
He worked for the office of JAG. I know he did. I looked it up.
That's right.
I checked his license plate.
Judge Advocate General.
That's right. There's a whole CBS series about the guy.
I used to like I remember watching like the first season of that and really liking it and all that. It went on for like 700 seasons.
It did.
Didn't
It was well. They had a target demo.
Yeah.
It was the
But
silver generation.
I remember way back, like when the first season came out and it was on prime time and a big kind of to-do and all that. I remember watching some episodes back then.
JAG is right up there with NCIS of like, really?
Yeah.
We're really going to focus on this department?
Yeah. And then for some reason, like USA Network or something was showing them during the day, like a couple years later. And I remember like catching, like I was, at that time of my life, I was home around that time when these were on and there was nothing on TV, so I ended up watching like an episode or two of JAG every day.
Right.
Like that and West Wing. I always end up seeing a lot of West Wing that way. But anyway.
West Wing is one of those that, I can pretty easily get lost in. But at the same time, halfway through, I'm like, what am I watching?
I loved West Wing.
That's right up there with Law and Order. It's like you get halfway through an episode of Law and Order, you're in.
Yeah.
You're like, why am I doing this to myself?
No, I like West Wing because they literally solved all the world's problems like in an hour. It's pretty great.
That's pretty good.
Rob Lowe comes running through and does something and they fix it.
My favorite trope of any of those procedurals is You can't stop working long enough to talk to the detective. You got to keep moving boxes onto a truck while you're giving a police interview. Really? Your schedule's that tight?
Yes.
Come on, buddy. We focus on the case.
No one cares about their job that much.
Sexual crimes are being committed. Can we focus on the case?
Well, it's always the guy that sees it's the one that was like working the newspaper stand or loading the boxes off the truck or serving hot dogs at the hot dog vendor.
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, Mike was working the unload, and I was just standing there, just kind of minding my own business. And it happened over there. I was over there.
Yep, exactly. It is 13 minutes after 8. Like I said, this hour we're going to play our interview we had with the Chaves County Health Council talking about the Health Expo, which is tomorrow.
Yep.
Tomorrow. Next hour, don't forget, we'll have Main Street Roswell join us tomorrow morning. Is and every Saturday for the next month or so is the Farmers and Garden Market, which they start at 7 in the morning.
I'm gonna get
and
early
goes to about 11.
Produce.
Yeah, get there early for the best produce selection.
Absolutely, always locally owned, locally grown, and you're supporting local folks when you buy from the Farmers and Gardeners Market. Everything there is homemade or handmade.
Yeah, because they got the produce and everything, and then homemade crafts. And
I read the rules. If you're you're reselling stuff, you're not allowed.
That's right. Come hungry too. They usually have breakfast burritos and all kinds of great eats out there and stuff too. So, but that gets underway at 7 in the morning. But Main Street will be in, talks about that and other things going on through Main Street Roswell in the 9 o'clock hour. Before we do anything else, let's do the weather. Although I'm telling you, we really don't need it. It's going to be hot and it's going to be over 100 from now for at least the next week. That's your weather. But
did we have a single day since the official start of summer that was less than 100 degrees? Because I don't think we did.
I think we have. I think
Maybe
we've
like
had
one.
Yeah, I think we've had one that were like 99 or 97s there, but not significantly under. I was looking and it's 106, 105, 106 for like ever for the next several days. So.
Can't wait for that long sleeve T-shirt season.
That's right. So, I think you just wear it anyway.
No, and die.
Well, I'll tell you in a minute. It is 8:15. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Hot and dry this weekend. We're expecting sunshine today as high pressure takes over in eastern New Mexico. Our afternoon highs 104 to 106. Well, the overnight hours, it'll be clear with our low in the mid-70s, and then even hotter on Saturday. Our afternoon highs 106 to 108, and we get sunshine at 105 for the afternoon high on Sunday and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 78 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 42%. Winds currently out of the west at 3 miles per hour. Heat advisory will kick in at noon this afternoon, remaining in effect through 7 p.m. this evening. Sunny with a high of 106 today. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear. Overnight low of 74 degrees. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunny and 108. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly clear with an overnight low of 74 degrees. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny and 105. North winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Sunday night, mostly clear, overnight low of 74. Monday, sunny and 106. And that's pretty much the theme for next week. 105 on Tuesday, 108 on Wednesday, 106 on Thursday of next week. So more of the same as kids go back to school and all that next week here. All right, it is 16 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take a 3-minute commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview with the Chaves County Health Council and Rick Lamb with Boys and Girls Club, talking about the big Health Expo tomorrow and Bubble Run. That's up next. Don't go away.
It's back to school time. It's a time for new beginnings and fresh starts. Not only for students, but also for parents, teachers, and support staff. We are so thankful for all of those that work to educate the children of our community. We all need a fresh start from time to time. Maybe it's a new job or a new relationship. Maybe you feel like you're in a rut and need a new routine. Maybe you're stuck in a bad place, either of your own making or someone else's actions. In 2 Corinthians, Paul says, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old is gone and the new is here." Christ can give you the ultimate and best new start. He takes us where we are, And if we come to him, he forgives us of all of our sins and gives us a second chance at a new beginning. At Country Club Road, we aren't perfect, but we are working to be what God wants us to be, thanks to the fresh start that he's given us.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Wakefield Oil Express has the highest quality service in Roswell with a 17-point full-service oil change that includes a full wash and vacuum at their car wash. You won't find a better deal. They also offer full synthetic oil changes, fuel and cabin filter replacements, and will even check your battery. Their tunnel wash isn't afraid of dirty vehicles. They have the best value wash in town with free vacuums. They even offer wash passes that can be used for multiple vehicles. Next time you need your oil changed, go to the fast and efficient Wakefield Oil Express and let them earn your business. 3204 North Main, Roswell.
Grab your dancing shoes and head to the Liberty in Roswell for Country Dance Night, Friday, August 4th, featuring the Colt Gibson Band. With special guest, Fabian Romero. Doors open at 6. Show starts at 7:30.
I don't want your love forever. I just need you for tonight.
Get tickets at thelibertyinc.com. Don't miss Country Dance Night with the Colt Gibson Band. Friday, August 4th, 6 p.m. at the Liberty in Roswell.
Let's face it, guys. We're living in times where the truth is becoming more suppressed and censorship is increasing at an alarming rate, especially on social media platforms. It's Clyde, and I want to tell you about a safe and secure digital playground we put together just for you. It's aftermath.media. You get access to thousands of Ground Zero archives and podcasts, along with our private social media groups with your basic membership starting at only $7 a month. Each subscription includes tech support, access to the RSS feeds, along with our own chat room and Telegram channel. In addition, the premium membership includes research study groups, webinars, a document and movie library, a live video stream of Ground Zero, a monthly Zoom chat with me, and other bonus content. Be sure to check out our yearly specials as well. Sign up today while you're thinking about it. Sign up at aftermath.media. Again, that's aftermath.media.
If you plug your nose, you can't tell the difference between an apple, potato, and an onion, unless you open your eyes. Here's Mike Winters.
Hey, good morning. It is 20 minutes after 8 o'clock, and quick change of program here real quick. Join us in studio. We're gonna work our health council interview in here in just a few minutes, but before we do that, we are joined in studio this morning by Undersheriff for Chaves County Sheriff's Department, Charles Eastless, with us. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing great. How about yourself? How's life out on the
TGIF?
Yes. Although that usually means busier for you guys. Usually
it's another day. It's another day.
When people tend to be off work, the police departments tend to have a busier workload when that happens.
It seems to run that way. Yeah. And the warmer the weather, the nicer the weather.
Sure.
The more people stay out.
Although I imagine kind of right now, because kids are going to start going back to school really next week in droves here, I imagine you guys are going to be in full force. Particularly
in the school
districts that are outside of the city area, just making sure everyone's having no problems getting around, doing their thing, and doing all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely, so. We're asking everybody to please be cognizant of the school year starting again. Pay attention to the lights where there normally weren't lights during the summer. Obviously, they're back in full force as of next week. So, we want to make sure that everybody knows that those kiddos are going to be in those areas, crossing, and just be safe.
Absolutely.
We get into these habits of, well, there's never been a stop sign there before, and all of a sudden there is. We just have to pay attention.
Sure, there's a reason why there is one there now, because there was issues at that particular spot. So we need to fix that. So.
Sure. So we want everybody to know that the kids are coming back. Everyone knows that, but we want them to know that we'll be out in full force, as well as other agencies.
Sure.
And we'll be enforcing all traffic laws, especially in the school zones, around the schools.
Yeah. And and this is that part when they taught you way back in driver's ed and stuff, the defensive driving and stuff, kids are kids. Kids do things that are unexpected. They'll run out into the street,
jump out in the street,
not realizing there's a car coming because a ball came, or they're playing a game of tag and you're not in that world at the moment. So they're doing their thing. And they're kids. Kids do these things. They all do it all the time. That's why you're the adult. That's why it is your responsibility when you're behind the wheel to make sure that even when the kid's doing things they're not supposed to in the street,
Absolutely.
you're the one that has to stop and let.
You're responsible.
You're responsible. That's the thing. We gotta just slow down. You know what? There's nothing on the face of this earth that we've got going on that you need to be going that fast to get to where you're going to. It's
people
no
don't realize that getting stopped on traffic is going to make you that much more that much later than if you would just slow down, do the speed limit, and get to where you're going.
Well, and what happens if you are speeding? That kid comes out and you hit the child, and God forbid this child dies.
Sure.
How bad are you? How are you going to live with that one? I mean, I can't imagine
something
if I did something like
preventable.
that. Yeah, that's gonna mess with my head for a while.
And that's the reason for those school zone speeds is that reactionary time.
Sure.
It gives you that reactionary time because, again, like you said, the kids are unpredictable. They can all be standing on the corner, and you think they're going to cross in the crosswalk. They run out.
Yeah. There's grown people that do this stuff. Kids,
Unfortunately, yes. Absolutely.
I wish this was isolated to children, but it's not.
Right.
And but you as the driver, you're in control. That's why. And if you remember back in driver's ed, pedestrians always have the right of way. Even when they're illegal, it's still their right of way.
Even jaywalking, they have the right of way.
Yeah, even if they're illegally doing something, you can't just hit them.
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly. You can honk at them. Believe me.
Yeah, honk.
You can scare them and
tell
honk
them get out of the road. Whatever as long as it's within the legalities there, that's your right.
And sometimes that makes for a good funny video.
Sure, but you just can't. You can't say, all right, collect points here, or whatever you think because you're playing a video game here. But that's the point we're saying. Yes. People are stupid. They do dumb things. It doesn't give you a license to do dumb things.
We're all human.
Yeah.
If we all didn't make mistakes, there wouldn't be what was called correction.
Sure.
Right.
Absolutely. Real quick, while we got you, is there some other stuff you guys were seeing or things you want to kind of put on the public's radar a little bit?
We've been staying busy. We did arrest another individual from CCDC.
Okay.
However, that is going to be it wasn't a county employee.
Okay.
It was a contract employee.
Okay.
So
they worked for one of the food service or medical or one of
the food services.
One of the companies that were contracted.
Right.
With the guy.
And I'll tell you, my hat goes off to Michael Briscoe. He is the new administrator there at the jail, and I plan on bringing him, either myself or the sheriff. We plan on bringing him on with us. He's done an amazing job, and he comes from an environment where he spent 20 plus years in corrections, and he brings all that knowledge and experience, and he's making a lot of changes, and all those changes are necessary.
Good.
And sometimes, sometimes the barbed wire doesn't look pretty. But it's not. That building is not designed to be looking pretty. It's designed to house and contain inmates.
Yes.
And so
we're not running a summer camp. It's a jail.
Exactly. And so real quick, hats off to him. He and I are pretty good friends, and so we work pretty well together. And things are definitely moving in the right direction.
Well, and I know. Not like I have a lot of experience in this, but I watch a lot of television. So, but and if you've never been to jail,
right? Even a visit,
there's a whole way of the life in it. It really is pecking order, and I mean, there's
it's its own,
it's its own, it's its own, and there's factions and there's things, and you have to. Anytime you have a group of people in a setting together, especially a contained setting,
sure.
That's human beings. They group up. They do their things.
They click up. They get bored.
Yeah.
They have all day to think about
exactly
how to either be disruptive,
sure,
get out, or any of the above.
And so you kind of have to, as law enforcement, you want to keep the peace, but at the part of keeping that peace is somewhat respecting those lines a little bit. I mean,
absolutely.
You can't let violence and all that happen, but hey. If this group wants to hang here as long as they're quiet and not causing a problem, and this group wants to go be there and be quiet, but sometimes that bleeds over and stuff. So it's like
exactly,
and so that's the balls that are juggling there in the jail. It's like, yes, we want strict discipline, we don't want corruption, we don't want that, but at the same time, it's hate. You can't legislate hate. If someone doesn't like someone because of something, there's not a thing you can do to convince them it's okay. And so the best you can do is, all right, well, let's mitigate it to you're not killing each other.
Exactly.
You stay in your corner, you stay in your corner, and not betwixt you will interact, you know?
Right.
And so that's the way you got to deal with it.
And that's exactly it. And that's real important that you said that. It's funny that you said that because we see that all the time. You know, when we do an investigation, you always have those people that say, hey, great job. You always have those people say, well, why did this happen? Why did that happen? Why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? This person's done this in the past. What we have to remember is that Lady Justice is wearing a blindfold.
Mm-hmm.
And she's wearing a blindfold for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And that reason is it doesn't matter whether a person's black, white, Hispanic. It doesn't matter whether we like them or don't like them, whether they're a Republican or a Democrat or whatever the case may be. That incident alone must be judged and must be investigated. And where the evidence, people lie, evidence doesn't. And so once we have a totality of what we call totality of the circumstances, it doesn't matter whether we like the person or not, or whether the public likes the person or not. If those chips fall where they fall, that's what we do, and that's the reason that we always have to go back. And we have to remember, you don't want to allow you cannot let your personal feelings get involved.
Sure.
And that's in corrections, that's in law enforcement.
And that's really probably the hardest part in your job, I'm thinking, is separating your feelings versus the feelings of what's going on in the moment.
I learned long ago in this business, I'm 25 years in this business, and I've learned that business is business and friends is friends. And unfortunately, you have to terminate or write up people that you consider to be your friend. But that's part of the business.
Sure.
And at the same time, sometimes you have to arrest people that you went to school with, people that you're friends with.
Absolutely.
And that's just business.
But
again,
I hope you rationalize it in your head that if they can't understand that, then they probably weren't your real friend to begin with.
Sometimes, whenever you start this job, you lose half your friends right off the bat.
Sure.
Those that you thought were your friends.
Yeah.
And then you always have one or two family members, they just don't talk to you anymore.
Sure.
You're now, the tattletale or whatever. And as you go on, and it's I'll be honest with you, as you go up in rank and you get to the position where I'm at or the sheriff's at, thousands of people, but you hang out with almost zero. And the reason being is because you're so busy.
Yeah.
And so, when these guys are having barbecues or they're having these get-togethers and everything, we're fielding calls and running the department, and that's what we do, and that's fine. And and I love what I do. I wouldn't choose anything else. But the reality is sometimes people have to realize the higher up you go, the more people fall off on the sides. And even my own family, I have to tell my parents live here. My daughter lives on the next block, and with my grandson and my granddaughter, and I don't get to see them that often, and shame on me for that because I stay so busy. So I have to slow down sometimes and say, you know what? I need to make time for I need to make time for people.
That's probably the biggest juggle that you and the sheriff have collectively is balancing, the 24 hours that your people require of your services with, oh yes, we both have families that we support, and we need to foster as well. And unfortunately, a career in law enforcement, those two things don't jive the best all the time.
What else is Lady Justice holding?
Yeah.
The scales, right?
Yeah.
And we know it's the scales of justice, but we have to also remember that's the scales of the day. And as we talked about last time, you have to decide when to leave it at work and when to take that time.
And you have a career where it's hard to turn the off switch. Like, yes, you're not in uniform, you're spending time with your kids.
Sure.
But if you're out in public and something goes down, you're still on call.
Sure.
You're a law enforcement officer.
Absolutely.
You
have a duty to act.
Exactly. And so that's different. You're not like at your job as a waiter or waitress or an accountant, and someone doesn't have an instance where you're out and about and they're like, I have an accounting emergency.
Right.
That's not happening. So.
Right. Well, I've dedicated like tonight is date night. I tell my girlfriend, hey, tonight is date night, Friday night. That's date night. Tomorrow we have a function right there at the sheriff's office parking lot at the county administration
Good
building.
deal. Okay.
It'll run, I believe, till about 1 o'clock. It's going to be a health fair, and they're going to have a lot of different entities out there. And
Oh, yeah.
things
So
like that.
over at the convention center.
Yes. And so, we're going to be participating in
Matter of
that.
fact, the interview we got here that's talking about that tomorrow.
There you
so.
go. Exactly. Yeah. And so we're gonna be participating in that.
Good deal.
And so we work almost every day of the week. But Sundays I've dedicated to seeing my grandchildren and my granddaughter. And
Sure.
like I said, Friday night is date night, and you have to find that happy medium. But I love what I do, and I will always answer my phone, or I'll always call you back. I tried to take a day off. We went to Lubbock.
Yeah.
Did some shopping. 71 phone calls later, I said, I'm not taking the day off anymore. Now that's back and forth and missed calls and things like that. So realistically, it was probably 35 calls, but it happens.
Absolutely.
And you know what? I love it. I absolutely love it. I love
the thing.
I love every aspect of the job.
It's not for everybody,
Yeah.
but if you love it, then God bless you.
You know, it's if you don't love it, don't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that simple. But
but that's true at any level. When you get to where you're the number one or number two in the organization, a lot of responsibility falls on that. And to be honest, and this is any profession, not just law enforcement, the higher up you get, the farther and farther away you really get from the reason you probably did it in the first place, if that makes sense. It
does.
Like if you got a guy that makes toys, like they start in because they love making toys, but if you get to that point where they're a multi-million, that guy's not making toys no more. That guy hasn't made a toy.
Business.
Yeah, that person's just seeing charts and flows and other people's ideas and things. And not that you don't still go on calls and stuff, but it's not like your day is just meeting with the people. Most of your day is dealing with paperwork and dealing with issues and things. It's not one-on-one talking to people and stuff. Like I have that happy
medium sort of day where I say happy. Well, it just depends. But
the parts that you liked about
I have paperwork that I have to do, and then I have meetings throughout the day, and folks will come in. And they don't have to have an appointment. I won't turn people away without an appointment. I welcome them, and I welcome the phone calls. There is nothing other than a fire or being under fire, so to speak, that is that important that you can't stop and talk to somebody.
Sure.
And that's the most important thing, is because you have this person that came all the way down to the sheriff's office, and just because they didn't make an appointment, or because they didn't, you want to get this paperwork done, or you're in the, it's important to give them that time.
Sure.
What may not mean a lot
just
to
don't
you
come into
means
the
a lot
sheriff's
to them.
department for no reason.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure. And it may be something small to us.
Yeah.
But to them, it's big enough to make the trip.
Sure.
And one of the things that as busy as I am, or as busy as we are, I will. And the folks that know me, I will always stop and talk to them when I see them, and that's important because it's a small community. It's we all live here.
Well, that's how you can do your job effectively, because you know what, there might be something going down, and those relationships you made are the why the case was solved, because they're going to feel more comfortable talking about something that maybe they didn't feel comfortable talking to someone else about.
This last week, I got a phone call from her grandma. She, she was upset. She was crying. She said, my grandson did this or did that, and, I don't know what to do. And I said, just walk him in.
Yeah.
Just bring him on down, and everything. Nobody's going to jump on him. Everything's going to be fine. But at this level, you're right. You're more of a, you have a lot of responsibility. So there's things that do have deadlines. There's things that you do have to get done. But I do miss that patrol at times.
Sure.
And that never goes away. And on my way home, if I hear somebody pull traffic or something, I'll go and back them, or sometimes I'll go on a search warrant with them.
Well, and that's the part that I think people don't understand. Yeah, and it's not even about, yes, they like when they have a resolve and helping people out, but it's the camaraderie of your fellow officers.
That's
I
right.
mean, because, when it's, especially if you're working night shift and stuff, and it's like, hey guys, we looks like it's pretty wild. Let's all go meet for lunch somewhere.
Sure.
And that's where they have the fun camaraderie and conversation.
Exactly.
And if you've been in the military or other things, you can understand some of that camaraderie. But it's hard to explain.
It's a different language.
Yes.
Whenever they're talking.
And let's face it, people in law enforcement, just like people in military, they see and do things that are maybe mentally tough to deal with sometimes. And sometimes when all of you have done that before, there's a certain way that you can mentally health through that if you're on the outside looking in, it may look bizarre to you or something you don't understand.
Or it may look heartless, or it may look...
Exactly.
But it's a coping mechanism, and it's because you see that every day, and if you don't come up with a coping mechanism that is healthy, or at least acceptable, and what I mean is, some people in this business, they come up with a coping mechanism, alcohol, which is not healthy.
Right.
Or, whatever the case, or gambling, or whatever the case may be. So, you have to find that outlet to keep your sanity, to keep yourself from going down that rabbit hole of depression or all these different thoughts.
Or be bad at your job, too.
Right.
I mean...
Or just get disgruntled.
Because that's the problem with law enforcement. You have a bad day, that cannot translate to your job in the law enforcement.
That's
the day
exactly
it does,
right.
you're in trouble.
You cannot take your day out on the public, or on anybody for that matter. And that's why the other thing I live by is leave home at home, leave work at work. You can't always leave work at work at this level, but I'll be honest with you. It's important for me and the sheriff as well. I go on those search warrants. I do help out with everything.
You still want to get in
there. I want the public to know there are not these barriers to get to us.
Sure.
You should never build a fence around you and become, no matter what, when you get no matter what level you get to, you should never have these hurdles for people to get to you. You should be more accessible.
Sure.
Because now you work more for the public.
And I imagine it also works
important
for the folks you lead.
Absolutely.
When your deputies, when that first year
be available.
Straight out of the academy deputy walks in and he's on the street doing his thing, and then he sees the sheriff and the undersheriff with a vest on right next to him doing something, that speaks volumes to that young person.
If I can do it at 50 years old, you're going to be. You can do it
exactly
at 25.
It's literally that leading by example there, and so I imagine for you that's got to be fun when you have like a new recruit doing it with you,
absolutely.
and you're kind of like, all right. And you're in essence being the eyes for that person too, and so you're like,
it really
check that
takes you
side,
back
check that side.
To remembering when you were at that level, because the sheriff was my training officer, and so it takes us back to that level, and then of course we start laughing about things that happened when I was on training.
You should see how I screwed that up when I was your.
I parked him in an ant bed, and it's just different things like that. But it's important to remember that. One of the things that I preach all the time is don't let a title make you who you are. Titles come and go, and you have to remember who you are, because one day that title will be gone, and if that's what you live by, then you're going to have a sad life, and you make that title what it is. I've learned more from supervisors that were not good supervisors, or that I didn't care for, or that were hateful, or whatever.
Sure.
Just as much I learned from them as I did from supervisors that I looked up to.
Well, learning what not to do, or learning, because you're actually seeing, you're like, okay, I would never treat someone like that.
Sure.
I need to note to myself, don't act like that, because how I'm feeling right now, I don't want people under me feeling that way.
Well, and that's important, and that's why we go out and do so many of the community things, and that's why we're out there in the public, because we want to be approachable, we want to be accessible. We work for the public. We all do, no matter what level you're at.
Sure.
You work for your department, and people will tell you, "Oh, I pay your salary, and I do this." Well, you know what? I pay my salary too.
Yeah.
And so
too.
exactly. And so the reality is that you need to be accessible to people.
Sure.
And when you get to that level, you don't start building these roadblocks for people and diverting them. There are some things that I don't need to deal with, so I'll send it to my lieutenant, or I have lieutenants for that. But if they ask for me, I'm the vice principal, so to speak, and I'm the SWATs guy.
Sure.
And
we live in a small town. We do. And I think a lot of that comes from because everybody knows everybody, and if they have and here's the thing too, whenever law enforcement comes to your house or business or whatever, it's because something's wrong. You're catching people in a moment of panic or anger or something, and so what they're going to do naturally is go to who's my Rolodex of who can help me in this scenario, and because of your your status and just knowing everybody
Sure.
and talking to everybody. A lot of people saying, "Oh, dude, I'm in legal trouble. I'm calling Charles."
I get phone calls all the time that says, "Hey, is this legal to do?" And I say, "No," or "Yes, you can," and things like that.
And it's different than like being a dentist or a hamburger person, because people don't always come for advice in a scenario where they're in trouble. Like the dentist guy may say, "Well, I love how'd you get your teeth so white?" "Oh, I did it." You know, when they're talking to you, it's because they're in a deeper situation.
And and I don't mind that. I'll run into people in Walmart and they'll say, "Hey, and we'll visit." And "Well, I've got you here. Can I ask you something?" "Sure." I have this problem going on with my neighbor, or I have this, or I have that. And you know what? It's important to try and give them some kind of direction.
At least exactly.
And the reality is they're asking you because they just don't know. And it may be something that you don't know. And to me, it's important not to say, "Oh, you know what? I don't know. Sorry." I tell them, "You know what? If I don't know, I'll find an answer for you. Let's make a phone call.
Sure.
Or I'll at least point you in the right direction."
That's the other part with being at the top of the management. There's not many people above you to ask.
Right. I'll tell you what, we did a deposition a while back, and mine lasted almost 11 hours. The sheriff's was like about 4 or 5, because he had that luxury of saying, "I
got to defer to Charles."
Go ahead and ask the undersheriff about that.
Yeah.
And I, what I should have done is said, "Ask the lieutenant."
That's where you got lieutenants.
But the reality is that it's no matter what level you're at, don't let a title define you.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what I stress the most. And it's like I said, with Lady Justice, she's wearing the blindfold for a reason.
Yeah.
She has the scales of justice for a reason, and we always have to remember that we're all human. Whether you like somebody or don't like somebody, you do not take out your day on that person.
Sure.
And be available. That's why like I said, that's why we do so many functions, because we love people, and this is a people job.
Absolutely.
And it's I'll be honest, it's enjoyable. And I go to the car shows. I have lowrider car that I put in the car show. I ride in a motorcycle group with some guys from the church. And so, I go to all these different functions. One day I may be wearing a cowboy hat and taking the girlfriend to a rodeo or something to watch. And then the next day I may be wearing leathers and riding the motorcycle.
Well, and to me, that's you living your life, but that to me is also
being normal.
And to me, that's also making the statement and bucking against everything that society is kind of built up against law enforcement.
Sure.
Now, and
that stigma that they're a machine and they're not a person.
Yes, exactly. And so and that's why you see so many of those TikTok videos of law enforcement playing basketball with the kids or getting involved in some kind of kids game in the street while they're doing stuff. That's it. Because it's fun and they like doing it too. And plus they like to prove the point that they can run just as fast with 60 pounds of gear on you. Well, that's kind of fun.
I have to throw my lieutenant under the bus. I saw him take a nosedive when he was racing one of the younger cadets and his hamstrings locked up on him. And I told him, I said, we're not as young as they are anymore.
That's the lesson.
That's what they're for now.
Yeah.
Go get them. Bring them back to me.
That's right. That's right. You're older, younger.
That's right.
I know it's a hard lesson to swallow.
You have to
sometimes,
use this now instead of the muscles.
Yeah,
but
it's a hard lesson when you start hitting 30s and 40s and things aren't as sweet as they were in the 20s.
Recovery, and I'm like this. Where did that pain come from?
Yeah.
All I did was type on the computer. And,
well, and that's the crux in law enforcement. Your younger guys who may be healthier and in shape don't have as much knowledge and experience as the guys that maybe aren't as fast as they used to be, but
we can describe what to do.
Right, and that's where you love that great balance, because if it has to get hard fast, you got the young guys in there, but when it takes a smooth tongue or somebody with a cool even head to kind of to navigate and de-escalate, you want the guy that maybe is a little slow running, but he's been in enough of these serious scenarios, or she's been enough of these scenarios where they can calm heads and calm everybody.
The slow runner has one of two choices: fight or talk.
That's right.
And so because that flight is gone, and so they tend to be the better talkers.
Sure.
And I don't mean the better talkers, but the ones that are more
they're just more adept
into
making a connection with people. Yeah.
And because I'll be honest with you, growing up, I got suspended for fighting and all these different things. Now I would much rather talk my way out of having to fight because we don't recover like we used to. It's not, back then we think we're invincible and all these things. And then all of a sudden you hit this age and you're like, my gosh, I'll get an ache and I'll say, oh yeah, I remember getting hit there when I was 17,
It's like, why did I wake up pulling a muscle? It's like, I'm sleeping. What am I doing?
I stretched.
Yeah.
And now I'm folded up in a fetal position. And
I literally bent over to pick up something, and now I'm bowed up here. What's going on?
And so I'll be 50 on Monday. And
happy birthday!
Thank you.
You and Sean have the same birthday. His birthday's on Monday.
Yes. And so it's. But I'll tell you what. In here, I don't feel 50.
Right.
In here, I don't feel 50. And
I get that because I'm 50 as well.
Right.
And
we're the same. We're the same. You and I are the same age. Yes.
I'm pretty sure when I was like a teenager, this is not what 50-year-olds were thinking.
No.
You know what I mean?
And do you recall saying to yourself, "Gosh, I'm going to this 40-year-old's birthday. They're old,
right?"
And now I'm like that. 40's not old.
Yeah, it's fine.
Bite your tongue. What are you talking about?
Well, and I remember seeing something like on Facebook, and I don't know if this is accurate, but it hit me hard. Was you remember the movie Cocoon from the 80s and all that?
Absolutely.
And so it was a meme of the Cocoon people, and they're like, you realize when this movie came out, they were in their mid-50s, and I'm like, no, stop that.
And they showed them they had gray hair.
Yeah.
Look at you and I. They had no hair. Look at me. And so you look at those things, and they're like, an elderly couple is taking that, and you're like, that's not elderly.
No,
but when we're younger, we're like, oh my gosh, they're I remember going to my uncle's 40th birthday or whatever, all these different things. And I think, look at all these old people, and now I'm like, you want to hang on to those years.
Yeah.
And I tell people, especially the youngsters that we hire, it goes by fast.
Yeah.
Slow down and enjoy it, because before you know it, you're going to be.
Well, I always hit those moments
there.
Like we're like a high school age or senior kid comes in, and I'm sitting here and hanging with people, and it's like, and then I hear them talking. They're like, "Oh, I'll just hang out with these old people." I'm like, "Hey, I'm not old. I'm the cool guy." And then I'm like, "Oh wait, I look like an old person now." Yeah, I am an old people.
It every day, or not every day, but whenever I have an applicant and I'm looking up over their background and everything, and it's an eye opener. It's also a little bit of depression. It's a little bit of a punch in the face.
Yeah.
When I look at their birth date and it's after when I graduated high school, and I'm like this. And then I start thinking, is this kid even old enough to be in this business?
Right.
And it's just that's when you realize
that was a hard day when I was like in a convenience store one day. And you always have those signs that say if you were born on this date, it'd be. And I looked and I was like, I graduated high school after that date.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my gosh, I'm old.
Yeah, some of these kids I graduated in 91, and some of these kids' birthdays are in 2001,
same year,
2000, and and I'm thinking, my gosh.
Yeah, I graduated in 91 too, so same thing. You see that?
Exactly. See, we're, and nothing makes you feel old like that.
I know. And that's, and I always get that with the memes, and it's like, I hear someone talking about the 80s, or they'll say, I remember something 20 years ago, and I start thinking about the 80s. I'm like, no, they were talking about the beginning of 2000.
Sure, that was our 80s.
Yeah, 20 years like, that was 40 years ago. Dang.
And the kids now, they say, I'll call you right back. Well, they call you right back. What that meant to us was when I get home, if no one's on the phone, and if I'm not in trouble for being late, and I knew to get home when the light came on.
Yes, the street light was your indicator.
That's right. Or my mom would step out and whistle. She had that whistle, and I was like, I got to go. And then we were there. So, we didn't have the luxuries that I tell these kids nowadays. They don't know what to do. And we're the same way. We all are the same way.
Sure.
We live with the cell phone because
Absolutely.
we've gotten
all
used
been
to it.
trained,
But we didn't grow up with it. And now that we look back, how did we ever survive without it?
And I resisted. I remember when I got married and everything, this was right around 2000 there, right when people started getting cell phones on the regular. And I was one of those people, and she kept saying, I want to get you a cell phone. I'm like, no. No. I was like, and at the time I was driving back and forth to Artesia a lot. And so I was like, I like 45 minutes where no one can get a hold
solitude.
of me. Yeah, I was like, it's me and the radio
Just
or
to
whatever.
relax.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And so I would listen to whatever, and,
Sure.
and now it's like I can't even go down the road for
Right.
20 minutes without my phone blowing up or something.
Well,
And I'm like,
And the days of saying, you know what, I'll email you when I get to my office and I
Yeah.
look at it. Now there's no way to say you didn't get it.
Right.
Because it comes to the phone and there's a read receipt on it and you're like, oh, okay. You know, and it's just, we see it all the time. Talking about that as well, want to remind everybody, stay off the phones.
Yes.
Especially,
texting and driving is
don't
as
text
bad
and
as
drive.
the drinking and driving.
You know,
It just-
I
just
don't want to
distracting.
sound like a hypocrite because, our deputies and officers and everybody, they have the laptop in their computer and everything. But the reality is people have to remember it just takes that split second. And especially with school starting up again, these kids are going to be everywhere.
And I will also state this, when you get that argument, that law enforcement officials has been trained to drive vehicles in high-speed ways, doing it. They teach this stuff at the academy. You were never taught how to do those kinds of things.
Unfortunately, they do teach
And so,
that. Yes,
not that, and don't get me wrong, I think they try to avoid it whenever possible too, but because of the
They're still
nature of their
responsible
job,
for the way they drive.
But and to be honest, we all know drinking and driving is bad, and someone's going to report you.
Sure.
If you start doing it, someone will report you.
Sure.
Texting and driving is not the case.
Right.
And it's far worse. I can guarantee you, when I go home for lunch today and I drive 5 miles north of here to go to my house, I will see at least 2 people on their phones texting
At
or
least.
talking or something between now and that thing.
At least.
I'm pretty sure I won't see 2 drunk drivers.
No.
You know
And
what I mean? And-
we now have the Bluetooth and everything where we now we look like we were talking to ourselves.
Yeah, now we look like mental patients.
Yeah,
but
exactly. Yeah, exactly. We're sitting there and we're having a discussion and doing all this
Yeah.
stuff, and everybody, and the person next to you is kind of looking over at you like,
Yeah.
"What are you?
What is that
you know,
guy
yeah,
doing?
what is that guy doing?
singing?
You know,
What's he
yeah,
doing?
exactly. What's his deal?" But it's important to use it if you have it.
Absolutely. It's too
versus-
easy. And almost every, like if you buy a car in the last 10 years, it's pretty much got it in there now.
It's there.
You know,
It's there.
It's, I mean, there's a few exceptions,
Yeah.
but, unless you're driving a 68 Charger or something, then, you probably have it.
I remember the old bag. You remember the bag phones when they came out? And
that was,
you were cool if you had the bag phone to plug into
in
the
radio, we
cigarette
had
lighter.
a couple
Yeah.
bag phones we used there for remotes
Yeah.
and stuff way back in the day there. But yeah, they were.
We're
yeah.
from the CB era. You know,
Mhm.
kids don't even know what that is.
Smoking
anymore.
the Bandit,
That's
man. That was the
right.
whole, today, the closest thing you're going to see is people still doing ham.
Yeah,
Ham radio.
ham radio.
And to be honest, I think you're going to see that more out here than you're going to see it in, say, like New York City or some metropolitan place.
And the biggest portion of those are our age.
Yeah. Well, and that's something that, and as a law enforcement, you know this. It's almost 9 o'clock. So.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, as law enforcement, those ham guys, they're the last line in the defense. Like
They're going to be able to talk to people when we're not.
Like whenever somebody's get lost in the mountains and stuff, cell connections, all that is kind of spotty at best.
Yeah.
Those ham guys, they can get
That's
word
right.
out. They can get connection too. So when all else fails, those old guys in the basement are the ones that are saving your bacon.
Yeah, that's it right there. And then there's those of us that, where are we going to go camping? It's right up here. And what I do is I look at my phone, and the minute it says no signal, I said, here we are.
That's a good spot.
And this is where we're camping. And
Yeah.
it's just to get away.
Yeah.
So
and every time there's like a Tordo Chamias or one of these big like events like that, there's usually ham guys that are just kind of, if it's out in remote parts, just hanging out just in case there's an injury or they need someone to to help somebody.
That's right.
That they do this, so it's not just them having fun and games and trying to rehash older technologies of communication. No, they're actually part of the line of the sand of defense.
That's exactly
if
right.
things go really bad. If we have natural disasters or storms that really impact this community, those ham guys are going to be a vital part.
Oh, they're
in communicating.
they're
and
very
getting that-
important.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it is a big deal.
they're going to they're going to be able to communicate where nothing else will.
Yeah. Hey, real quick before I let you go, recruiting. You guys still
We are
taking
still hiring.
applications and stuff?
We have 5 positions available.
Okay.
So we are still hiring. If you're interested, go to the website, fill out the application. You can submit it online. We hold testing any day of the week.
Good deal.
Whenever they're available.
Okay.
So we really encourage people to apply. I can't tell you enough how important it is to do this job,
Mm-hmm.
and the rewards of it aren't readily seen, but they're felt. And there is no other job in the world like this.
If you're looking for a job that gives you a sense of belonging,
exactly,
law enforcement's right, because
no 2
it's
days
a
are
family.
the same.
Yeah, is it a hard day? You bet.
Sure.
But that's what, and this is, and that's where what makes this job successful and what makes it a job that people can do is that camaraderie.
Absolutely.
Is your fellow officer that got your back just like you got theirs, and those nights when it's 2 a.m, you're all sitting at KFC eating chicken.
That's right.
That's the cool stuff, to be honest.
That's the downtime.
Yeah, that's the cool stuff, and that's what makes this job a great job. If you like that, if you're that person
Absolutely.
that loves to be a part of the,
if you like your
sense of
day to
belonging,
be
yeah.
exciting and different,
Sure.
then do this job. But
Sure.
I will be honest with you, it's more paperwork than it is excitement. The excitement is sporadic
because you got to get it right every
but
time.
the
and that's it.
fulfillment is there.
But that day when
It's-
you've made a difference and
Sure.
helped someone drastically improve their life, then then all the paperwork, all the stuff is
and that's
completely
in
worth
any
it.
job.
Yeah.
Whatever a person wants
You
to
just
do.
get more of those moments in other jobs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah.
we are hiring. We are still hiring. If you're interested, please apply.
And I'm telling
we
you,
welcome you.
they work with you.
6500.
Yep, they work with you. Getting like if you're not
Absolutely.
quite physically up to standards there,
We
they'll help
work
you
on
do
that.
that.
Absolutely.
If you need to learn, because there's a lot of learning. It's you
We
got to
do
know the laws and everything.
We do a pre-academy, and so they're if you're just on that borderline of physical fitness to do the push-ups or sit-ups or whatever the case may be for you, we can work on that.
Absolutely.
We have time to do that prior to the academy and things like that.
That's why the military sends you to basic training. If you're not in shape
There
when
you
you
go.
start,
Oh,
you will be
when
by
you
the
get
time
out.
you're done.
That's it right there. That's it.
And if you're not, you weren't there the whole time.
That's it. I tell people all the time, I did not look like this when I
Yeah.
graduated the academy.
The only people that get bigger in basic are skinny, little, tiny people. People that are sticks, they're the only people that get bigger in basic.
Yeah.
Everyone else
the big guys
smaller.
get smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I graduated the academy, I weighed 182. When I tested, I weighed 166.
Yeah.
And so, I gained some muscle. Now I've gained a lot of stress eating and all that stuff.
That's the other part. As you get a little longer in the tooth, other things get longer too.
But I'm back on the track. So
good deal.
I look forward to see what happens 6 months from now. And
Here's the thing: you're a big guy. I guarantee you'll chase down any other big guy your size around here.
I'm the sprint guy. If I don't get you from here to there,
Yeah.
I've got a guy that will,
Listen,
or a radio.
I will tell you,
You know?
underestimate Charles and see what happens. It's going to be a bad day.
One of my rookies found that. One of my deputies found that out. We had a little sprint contest. And,
and I can attest as a fellow 50-year-old, it's 9 o'clock, so I got to stop. But I can attest as a fellow 50-year-old, you go hard, but we're done quick. We're done.
Then I felt it for a month.
Yeah. Now, if you got any kind of endurance, you're going to get us.
That's
but
right.
if you can survive the initial barrage, then you got us. But that first thing, you better look out. It's going to be horrible for 3 seconds.
Get me the oxygen when I'm done.
Absolutely. Well, Charles, as always,
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. We'll see you all next time.
Thank you
here.
for having me on.
And stay safe and tell every deputy out there we're praying for them. And,
Thank you so much.
And thank them for their service. So.
And if anybody wants to even just come by and visit, we welcome you to the sheriff's office. If you know of any crimes or anything, 624-6500. And if you're interested, please apply. If you're not sure this is what you want to do, come down, fill out a ride-along form.
Yeah, see it.
And you're welcome to do a ride-along and see for yourself.
It'll change your opinion. Trust me. I've done it, and it's really cool.
And those people that don't like what we do, we welcome them as well to come down, do
See
a
how the sausage
ride-along,
is made.
and look at it from inside the vehicle.
I guarantee your opinion will modify. Guarantee it. I guarantee it'll modify.
Absolutely.
So, as always, sir,
Thank you
appreciate
again.
it. We'll see you next time. Here.
Absolutely.
All right. It is 9:01. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. News in progress.
His legal team characterizes this latest case as an attack on his right to free speech. This is the third criminal case brought against Trump in less than 6 months.
Correspondent Mike Hempen. Gas prices continuing their upward trajectory. As of this morning, AAA has a national average for a gallon of regular at $3.83. That's up a penny from yesterday. Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 192 points. The Nasdaq trading 92 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Russia, which has sent countless drones on explosive missions into Ukraine, including hitting civilian targets, is accusing Ukraine of using drones to attack a Black Sea naval base.
The port of Novorossiysk is just across the water from Crimea, where Russia's Ministry of Defense says it thwarted another attack by Ukraine overnight, taking down over a dozen drones. The ministry added Russian ships patrolling the perimeter of the naval base had destroyed some of the drones. Footage published on Russian social media appeared to show a ship firing into the sea and a burning object exploding. Ukrainian agencies carried social media footage they suggested showed a Russian ship listing to one side after the attack. The Associated Press could not verify the videos, and Ukrainian officials have not commented on the attack. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
South Korean police have detained a man suspected of stabbing a high school teacher with a knife in the city of Daejeon. News and analysis at townhall.com. Some tense moments aboard an airliner on the ground in the Crescent City.
Authorities say they arrested a passenger on a Delta Airlines flight who cut himself before attacking a flight attendant. The violent outburst happened Wednesday after the Delta flight from Atlanta landed in New Orleans. The man cut himself in the neck and then injured a flight attendant with a superficial cut before he was subdued by other passengers. The passenger was arrested, facing charges now of aggravated battery, simple battery, and disturbing the peace. Delta said in a statement that it has zero tolerance for unruly behavior on our aircraft. John Scott reports.
Capital punishment could surface as an issue in the presidential campaign. Leading Republican candidates are touting tougher, more far-reaching death penalty laws, while death penalty foes criticize Joe Biden for taking no action on a 2020 pledge to end capital punishment. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Trace Inviernos.
I don't know why, but as soon as I turned on the mic there for a second, I had an insane desire to do the Mrs. Doubtfire Robin Williams. I don't know why. I had to physically stop myself from doing it. I almost went, woohoo! And I just thought, why was I going to do that? I don't know. I had an urge.
I don't know if I'm a weird person.
Yeah.
I know I am, but do you ever, usually by yourself, just say something out loud to hear what it sounds like.
I talk to myself all the time. People, if I get caught, like, you're probably gonna think I'm a nut bar,
Right.
Because I constantly, one word will come out because I'm thinking about something. It's like, yeah, that's right, and then
Yeah, you're answering yourself.
yeah, I do
done
that all the time.
I've done that a lot. I've done that, and the other thing that I've actually started doing recently, and I don't know what triggered it.
Yeah.
I'll be sleeping and have somebody ask me something in a dream, and I will wake myself up answering the person in the dream. No, not today. What?
Yeah. My wife will talk in her sleep on occasion. It's never phrases. It's usually just a word here or there, and like a couple times, it's like, oh yeah, that'd be cool, but usually it's like, that's funny.
I'll tell you this: I'm a habitual sleep talker. I have been for most of my adult life.
Yeah.
Which is why I have stayed so loyal. Because I'm scared I'm going to admit to some stuff I did in a dream. Who's Cindy?
Well, apparently, if you put me in drug-induced stupors, I make up stuff.
Yeah, you have a whole family in Texas, right? That's right.
Yeah, that was my wisdom teeth. When they knocked me out for wisdom teeth, I told the nurse that I had a kid and a 6-month-old baby.
How are Kelly and the boys?
Yeah, and so I guess after they started waking me up, I must have been sharing this information, and then my wife was in the waiting room, and they were going to tell her to come take me home now, and I guess the nurse was all like, "Well, how's the new baby?" And she's like, "What are you talking about? He's just saying he got a new baby and all." I'm like, "What?" And then I was like, "You got some splaining to do." I'm like, "I don't know. I don't know of which you speak. I don't remember
made up
this
backstory." You know what it was? In your coma stupor, you had a whole different life.
Apparently,
you were coming back out of that.
Well, now I'm wondering, like, am I like, have I been brainwashed, or has been like the Men in Black thing done on me? And
well, do you believe in the multiverse theory to the point where
believe?
I've heard one person saying in like multiverse theory that when you dream, you're actually entering a completely different universe's consciousness.
Okay.
So the things that actually happen in a dream have happened to you on some other plane.
God, I hope that's not true.
Whoa, man.
I hope that's not true, because I've had.
I don't. Same.
I've
murdered people.
I've seen some things in the dream.
I've shattered like 7 sets of teeth.
Like, okay, and do I believe? I don't know. I mean, whatever. I don't know. Here's my thing. I know, I believe in God. I believe there's this. I even, paranormal stuff. There's something there. I don't know. I mean, I'm not talking Zach Baggins feeling everything, all that weirdness, but I believe there is something. There's too many people that have seen too many things to chalk that up as crazy. You know what I mean? I think there's, to what level? No idea. No idea. But I will say this. I think some people are in tune and can sense it, and others cannot.
Sure.
I am in team cannot. I'm telling you right now.
Plant my flag firmly.
It's not because I choose to.
Right.
I just think I'm
you're
built.
not tuned in, yeah.
Like okay, and this may sound weird, and it may sound like my mother passed away back in 2003, and my wife, on at least 2 different occasions, has said she's had my mother visit her in the dreams, talking, saying everything's good, everything's okay. I'm like, well, why aren't they?
Why can't you check in with me?
And I honestly think it's because maybe they try, and I legit just don't pick up on the signals. Like,
listen, Kim, he clearly doesn't listen.
Yeah, I don't pick up on the feather floating or the butterfly in the room. I don't. I'm not in tune with that.
The one time that's ever been a trigger to me.
Yeah,
I went to a funeral. A friend or a coworker's wife passed away, and during the funeral, they were talking about how and she's Japanese, I believe, and in her culture, the butterfly symbolizes release or rebirth, and when you see a butterfly, it's actually the soul of your lost loved one checking in on you.
I've heard that.
I leave the funeral home, and literally for the next 3 days, I constantly see butterflies. To the point where I was I kept checking in. I was like, I'm good, Kaja, I'm good.
See, I think you have the tune.
I don't think I do.
I think you have it more than I do.
I think I pay a little more attention when I'm goaded to.
Yeah.
But again, I go into oblivion after that.
And I just like certain things. I'm attention to detail oriented. Other things I miss. Clues. Like I'm that, like when people like I'm that guy when my wife says someone's flirting with you or something, I miss it. I'm oblivious.
I'm the same with that.
And so I think is my sense in paranormal, I'm the same way. I'm just, if there's some guy going, ooh, I'm just like, doo-doo-doo.
But if I
what
have
do you want
something
for lunch?
pointed out to me, then I'm like, okay, I'll pay attention for a minute. But
Yeah.
you know that how in Click, how the main character lives his life through in autopilot.
Yeah.
That's sort of how I feel like I live a lot of my life, is just kind of like in that mode where it's just like I'm existing.
Yeah.
I don't pay a lot of attention.
Like if there's things I really don't want to do, I'm just going to go robot mode until I get through it, and then I can deal with. I get
deal with the consequences after the fact.
And part of that might be what But I also
what's led me down this path of destruction. No, you're absolutely right.
I also know this about me. I think that also serves me well in like I get mad at nitnoidy things. Little things will drive me nuts.
Sure.
But when major issue happens, something major, someone's dying, a major event, I'm usually more calm and even-headed, and I'm the guy in the room but if
can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
It's infuriating.
Is it?
Because I'm over here throwing a fit, and Mike's calm, cool, collected. I'm like, I know you have to be in that situation. One person has to be.
But I'm better at that.
You are. You really are.
That's kind of one of my strengths, I think. But if you want to, if the hair's wrong or you do, that's where I'm like, what are you, an idiot?
Right.
Why are you making it harder than it has to be? That drives me
pick your
nuts.
spots.
I know. I'm very weird like that. But if someone's like, oh my gosh, so and so's dying, the house is on fire, I was like, all right, calm down. Let's triage this.
I would say that's the military in you.
Maybe
you were
maybe
trained
it is.
to be disciplined in emergency scenarios.
Maybe, but I find myself in life where the big things
and again,
I
that would
handle
also
way better.
That would also lend itself to you getting upset with the nitnoidy stuff, because if you think about it, if your bed sheet had a wrinkle in the middle, your officer was going to rip your whole bedding off and say, "Do it again."
Maybe.
If your boots had a scuff on it, same thing. It's nitnoidy. It was nitpicky, but
I think the military enhanced it. I think I always had a little of that in me.
You kind of have to be able to draw a positive military experience.
I think the military proved in my head that it was the way to go, and maybe just because. I don't know.
I've said out loud, I firmly believe I was intended to and should have gone into the military. The closest I ever came was we had a recruiter come to our high school, and I asked him if after basic, if I could enlist in the Armed Forces Radio Network to work on the radio.
Right.
It's what I wanted to do.
That's a job.
And he said, absolutely, 100%. Come down and talk to us. Of course they will. Yeah.
You would have walked in and said, can I be president of the United States? I'm like, yep. Yes, you can. It's in our chain of command.
Yeah, it wasn't until after the fact that I started talking to some actual people. They were like, no, you're not. You may get there someday. But
well, it's all about ASVAB. You take the ASVAB test. If your score's high, you write your own ticket. If your score's in the 30s, they're like, you'll make a great bottom of the barrel this.
How are you in the kitchen?
Actually, if you're going to the Air Force and you get a score of like 35, they're like, you should talk to the Marines. That's what they really do.
Right. What's your favorite flavor of crayon?
Sorry, that's the truth. Y'all get mad. That's what happens. You get a low score at the Air Force when they put you there. They tell you to go see the Army or the Marines.
Well, there's a lot of bells and whistles in the Navy, in the Air Force.
Well, maybe they're a little bit they're a little bit more particular with ASVAB.
There's a lot of things you got to know. A lot of knowledge that needs to be there for the Air Force or the Navy.
But you get, I think I got a 70 something, and they were like, "Oh, you're good. Come on in. And what do you want to do? What do you want you to do? Yeah, you can do what you want. Can I do this? No, you can't do that. Yeah." But anyway, we do have the folks from Main Street Roswell here to join us, and I'm sure they're anxiously don't want to hear any more of my stories. But first, before we bring them in, big thank you to McDonald's. Swing by any McDonald's near you. Here in town, they've got you covered. Download the app. I'm still seeing the Grimace meal on the app. Like I looked as 2 days ago or 3 days ago, it was on there. So if you have not tried the Grimace shake, you have to order the Grimace meal to get it. That's the only way. So if you can't eat a Big Mac or a chicken nugget and fries and whatever came with it, invite a friend and then give them that and you eat the
cost
shake.
And you have the shake. And hopefully you don't die straight after. TikTok is anything to go off of.
Oh, really?
By the way, it was a whole meme thing. People were like, "Ooh, happy birthday, Grimace!" Take a drink of the shake, and then it cuts to them just like dead on the ground with like shake oozing out of it. It was a whole meme.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't get the joke on that one.
I didn't really either, other than the fact that Grimace is coming for your soul. I got to tell you, I just
Grimmer's looking happy to me.
I just took a sausage McMuffin to first class.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
with the jalapenos on it.
The jalapenos. But you know what else I did? Because I was walking by, and boy, they get you at those end caps. They didn't have jalapenos at the Allsup's, but I went over to the Albertsons, and I see a jar of Herdez guacamole salsa.
Oh,
I've
never had that.
You should. There's some in the kitchen. Just drop a couple dollops on your sandwich.
What is it, more salsa-y or guacamole-y?
It's kind of a mix of both. It's really more like tomatillo-y.
So is it like a runny guac, or is it a chunky salsa?
No, it's more of like a runny guac.
Okay.
Which is not a great way to describe it.
I was just trying to, because they're both salsa is a thin air, whereas guac is a more hearty chunk.
But yeah, that with the egg with the sausage McMuffin, that was a 10.
Nice.
10.5 even.
I think it would work. Oh, sorry, Roy, go ahead.
I said I put that in my guacamole sauce in my burrito too.
Oh, okay. So that would work. I think it will work better with sausage than bacon or the Canadian bacon.
Oh, yeah.
I think you need a meat with some spice in it to complement it. That's my opinion.
Something sagey.
Yeah. But swing by any McDonald's.
Yes.
And download that app. Start accruing points. Start using or do like me and never use your points and just use the deals. Like almost every day that I go on that app, and here's the problem. I go to the deals, and usually the top 2 deals is 20% off your whole purchase.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like that because I don't know what I want yet. And now, because sometimes I legit don't know. And then when I go to my points, I feel like I'm pigeonholing myself. Well, now I got to get a quarter pounder.
Right.
Now, with that, I'm like, no, the world's my oyster. I want a double fillet of fish.
Sure.
I want a triple cheeseburger.
Now the pro move is you use the deal, right? You go sit down and eat inside. Okay. This is really worse when I have kids. You get the 20% off. Wait 15 minutes and you can reuse your app again. And then I get an ice cream cone or whatever else while the kids are doing their thing, and I'm enjoying over here.
Nice.
And you can use it. You can double dip.
That's smart.
It is. It is indeed.
Brain power.
That's right. Big head thinking.
There you go. So swing by McDonald's.
Visit.
And use that app. It will be your friend. And try to add things to your McDonald's saver.
Yeah.
Fair. Just, pick up random things at your house and put them in there and give it a try.
That's right. We're hacking Mickey D's. And
that's right. Home hack Mickey D edition.
Take their amazing and make it extra amazing.
Matter of factly, if you do this, share a picture on our video stream. Go to the Roswell Talk FM stream right now on there on Facebook. Enter to the comments. Take a picture of maybe you've got a McMuffin with, raisins or something.
Sure.
I don't
Just
know.
a little cheese whiz on
You
top.
do you. And please be serious. Don't give me an amalgamation. There's enough of that on the internet.
Well, you just said raisins on top. That's pretty
But
silly.
if you eat it and that's your thing, then God bless you.
Sure.
Don't do it to try to weird me out. I want to see like, hey, I tried this and I loved it. If that's your thing and you love it, then so be it. But if don't try to do it just to, have you ever had sardine? No, don't be playing that game. I want legit. Hey, this might actually be something good.
Yeah. This could be the next hack menu.
You ever tried black olives? No, I haven't, but I would have never thought to. But now I do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, it tastes delicious. Who knows? Maybe black olives on that sandwich might make it a 10. I don't know. Never thought to put them on.
That's
there.
right.
Someone else might.
Cottage cheese on top of your Big Mac. Who knows? Go nuts.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you can make a lasagna out of French fries.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Well, someone told me a hack that if you got your extra fries, save them. And then the next morning, cut them up and put them in your eggs when you cook your eggs.
Ooh, that does sound delightful, actually.
Yeah. My problem is I don't have leftover fries very often.
It almost never happens.
But I know people that do.
My daughter will hover around Hunter, wait until he's done, and then just eat the fries that he doesn't finish. So,
But I get it, because when the fries at a certain temp, you're kind of fried out. That's why you want to eat them first and fast, because they're hot and awesomeness.
Yes.
But after about 10 minutes in the thing, they're not. The heat goes down, and the awesomeness does go down, too.
I bet.
It does. So, anyway, I do. I have them. All right, it is 21 minutes after 9. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Hot and dry this weekend. We're expecting sunshine today as high pressure takes over in eastern New Mexico. Our afternoon highs 104 to 106. Well, the overnight hours, it'll be clear with our low in the mid-70s, and then even hotter on Saturday. Our afternoon highs 106 to 108, and we get sunshine about 105 for the afternoon high on Sunday and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 83 here in Roswell. Humidity is at 36%. Winds are calm at the moment. We do have the heat advisory. Officially will kick in at noon today through 7 p.m. Expect a high of 106 today under sunny skies. Winds will be out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear. Overnight low of 74 degrees. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunny and 108. Good news is the farmer's market starts at 7 in the morning. It won't be 108 by then. So get there at 7, and you can avoid the 108 tomorrow. Saturday night, mostly clear with an overnight low of 74 degrees. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunny on Sunday, 105 for a high. Breezy for the afternoon. North winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Monday, sunny and 106. And next week, all of that. 105 on Tuesday, 108 on Wednesday, 106 on Thursday of next week. All right, it is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a 2.5-minute commercial break, and then we'll talk Main Street Roswell on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
When you or a loved one need medical transport, cost and ability to pay shouldn't get in the way. That's why Trans-Aero Medevac, through the generous support of the Written in Red Foundation and PY Foundation, provide air ambulance memberships to the residents of Eddy County at no out-of-pocket cost. As an Eddy County resident, as long as you're flown by Trans-Aero Medevac, Trans-Aero will accept your insurance or third-party payment with no additional out-of-pocket expense to you. Best of all, as a resident of Eddy County, you're automatically enrolled, free of charge. Because when minutes matter, financial burden should be the last thing on anyone's mind. You have a choice. Be sure to request Trans-Aero, a streamlined, personal, patient, and family-friendly air ambulance service. For more information, visit transaeromedevac.org. Trans-Aero Medevac. They really are wings for life.
New Mexico can be safer, and we can protect our loved ones from gun-related injuries when we lock up our guns. New Mexico has one of the highest rates of gun violence in the country, with numbers nearly 2 times higher than the national average. But safe gun storage is a proven strategy that reduces gun violence in all our communities. Protect New Mexico by securing your firearms. Visit safestoragenm.org to learn more. Brought to you by the New Mexico Department of Health.
It's back to school time. It's a time for new beginnings and fresh starts, not only for students, but also for parents, teachers, and support staff. We are so thankful for all of those that work to educate the children of our community. We all need a fresh start from time to time. Maybe it's a new job or a new relationship. Maybe you feel like you're in a rut and need a new routine. Maybe you're stuck in a bad place, either of your own making or someone else's actions. In 2 Corinthians, Paul says, "Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, the new creation has come. The old is gone and the new is here." Christ can give you the ultimate and best new start. He takes us where we are, and if we come to Him, He forgives us of all of our sins and gives us a second chance at a new beginning. At Country Club Road, we aren't perfect, but we are working to be what God wants us to be, thanks to the fresh start that He's given us.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
You can't hunt camels in Arizona, but you can buy them. They go for about $10 a pack. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 25 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us here in the studio from Main Street Roswell, Barbara Gomez back with us, and also Alan Shanley as well. Good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Good morning. Hey, we're good.
How's life treating you? How's
well, you know what?
Y'all been busy. I mean,
we have been so busy, very busy.
Every Saturday for the last month and for about another month here. Well, it's not been a month. It's about mid-July, so they started. It's been about 3-4 weeks now.
Saturday after.
It's been almost a month.
Yeah, the second Saturday.
But every Saturday morning is the annual Farmers and Garden Market that's going on every single Saturday right now, and it'll go on for about another month or so here.
Yeah, it'll go on to October.
Right? And every Saturday morning, beginning at 7 a.m., our local growers, whether it's backyard gardeners or our Grace Farms and some of our bigger farms around town, come to town with all their produce and things.
All their good stuff.
And on top of that, we have home crafters with their all homemade stuff, making burritos and stuff out there. Nonprofit organizations that are looking for volunteers and things to come be a part of their groups. Sometimes they're selling or raffling or auctioning off stuff for their organizations.
Baskets and different things that they have. The fun thing about this is Peggy's just been overwhelmed because she's the head of the... She's the farmer's market manager. She manages...
That's why we can't see her today. She's busy.
Yeah, she's busy trying to get together and stuff. But she'll be out there tomorrow morning. She gets there around 6 a.m. in the morning. They set up and are ready to go by 7.
7 is official start time.
7 is an official 7 a.m. So... this last week I went by there to go see her because I was busy the one before that. So I went to go see her last week. My goodness, she had like 25, 30, if not more vendors out there. I was blown away. And this is people cooking, making
that grass lawn's pretty much full. From one side to the other on the courthouse lawn.
Right.
Yeah.
And of course, it doesn't cost anything to walk up and down and buy you some fruits and vegetables or have a burrito or something.
If you're there to get produce,
yes,
I always recommend be there at close to 7 because the produce shoppers are like you. They want to get the best green chilies or the best whatever out there at that particular week. And selection's always best at 7 when they start. Now, if you wake up and it's 10 o'clock and you're like, come on out because there's still a lot of cool stuff. But if you're hunting for something particular, be there at 7. That's just the pro tip I recommend for folks over the years. That's
absolutely. But they do. I mean, like this last week, I thought it was really kind of cool. The guy with the blocks was out there.
Okay.
He has a lot of wood blocks, like 2x4s, and he brings a bunch of them out there and puts them in front of the stairs. And it's really kind of nice.
Like a giant Jenga kind of thing?
Well, and the kids are out there playing and building stuff, and it kind of keeps them distracted while you're
shopping.
While you're shopping.
Well, they're playing there and not asking you to buy everything at every booth.
That's right.
Because that's what kids do. Can you get me one of those? You don't even like apples, but can you get me one?
Hey, talking about apples, I got a couple of them last week, and they have pecans out there. If you guys are getting ready to start making holiday foods, you need to go out.
You'd be amazed at how much stuff you find out there.
And the zucchinis are delicious right now as well. So, make some plans to go out there, you guys. And if you want to be a part of it, just know that it is a growers and farmers market. So if it's not homemade, handmade,
we're not. This isn't for Scentsy or
it's not
any of that kind of stuff. This is
really growers and farmers market.
Now, if you do make like art or something like that,
homemade,
or functional things like you maybe butter churns or welder that makes furniture or something, that kind of stuff. Awesome. We'd love to have you be a part of that. But if you sell Mary Kay or something like that, that's not. This is not what this is for.
No,
this is for if maybe you have a home business where you make ceramics or something like that.
Right, or you make necklaces,
you
make earrings,
jewelry,
you make jewelry, you make homemade, custom-made T-shirt type things. That's okay as well.
If you go to like the Holiday Magic craft fairs and things you think at the end of the year, the Quilters Guild,
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff we want to see at the garden and farmers market.
And I know one booth out there sells kids homemade clothing. It's really cute for babies, and so just keep that in mind.
Sure.
If you have stuff that's not that, we can still take care of you through another one of our events.
Yeah, I was say we got other places for you to do your stuff, but that Saturday morning is really for our local growers and crafters. That's their place to shine.
That's right.
Good deal. So let's talk about the other event.
Well, well, first of all, go ahead, Ellen. Yeah,
on the spot.
Put you on the spot, Alan.
Speaking of the other events that we have for those kind of people that want to sell those kinds of goods, the Alien Festival on the courthouse lawn just happened.
Yes,
we had a great turnout.
Huge success, I think.
There was a ton of people. I think it was one of the bigger ones we've had in quite a few years.
Every place I went to that weekend had a crowd of people. You know what I mean? Like everything was busy. It didn't matter where you went or what you did. They had a crowd of people doing stuff. So that's exactly what we wanted to see.
It was. We had a lot of volunteers from Pioneer Bank, LDS, the Assist Teams, KCCB.
We can't do this without volunteers helping us out with something. Putting stuff up, picking up trash.
Absolutely.
Keep Chaps County beautiful.
The Army of Volunteers is what makes it happen. Yeah. And it's every single one. When those like youth challenge groups sign up to help clean up trash and all of that we couldn't have events like that without that support, without that help, without people every year putting on their Main Street green T-shirts and stuff and saying it's time to go set up chairs and start setting up tents and getting everything going and getting ready for the weekend here. And once it's going, being that navigator, being that guide when people say, where is this? And being that one saying, just go this way, or where can I find this? Here you go. It's down here.
Alan and I spent almost all weekend along with a lot of other people on those golf carts going from one end to the other.
Stomping out fires.
Yeah, because we closed up everything from 2nd to 5th Street.
Yes.
So that was a lot of ground to cover.
Now that we've had that, what was kind of the feedback from that? Were people happy to see that again for the most part?
For the most part, everybody was happy to see it.
Okay.
We had a few glitches with vendors on our the 200 block. So it was a little sparse this year, but we got some good feedback. So we're already planning of how to make it better for next year. But overall, people were really glad that we closed down the streets and said, this is the way it used to feel.
Well, and I think that's the key, the feel.
Yes.
It's when we all think of something, we all have a certain image and what it's supposed to portray.
A festival should look like.
To most of us, having that downtown closed is the way it feels.
Yes.
It should feel that way.
but there's
not wrong with trying stuff. It's like, hey, let's give it a try. If maybe it works the other way, maybe it doesn't. But if it doesn't, no big deal. We go back to the other thing.
That's right. We go back to something else.
We can always see if we can do something better sometimes. I mean, now something it rolled out perfect, and you're like, dude, don't change the thing. Then God bless you because you're lucky that happened.
But I did do a vendor survey. We did do a survey, and for the most part, everybody turned their surveys back in.
Good.
And most of them, had a few things of, I didn't like it here, or the music was too loud. But sometimes,
everybody's going to complain about
music. It's not. It's too loud. It's too quiet. But overall, the feel was, we like it. We want it back. We want it like this. So we have to work on that, I guess.
Well, and those kind of logistics are hard to work on because you're not in a concert venue. You're not in an amphitheater. You're in the street.
Yes.
Sound reacts differently. If you're standing over here, it's going to sound a lot louder when you're standing over here because you're next to a building, it bouncing. It's all about perspective. At least in a theater, it's a controlled environment. The sound goes the way it's supposed to go. But when you do a street festival or something, it may sound blaring right here, but if you're over here, you can hardly hear it.
You can hardly hear anything. Yeah.
And that's the reason why we do concerts in concert halls when it's something. But when it's a festival, it's a different feel on it.
A different feel.
So if you're looking for a concert environment on a street festival, it's not going to sound that way because
no. I mean, you're right because we had that 2nd Street stage where people were saying, "Oh my goodness, this sound, this is blaring," and then the people just right close to them are saying, I can't hear anything. Can you turn that guy up? And it's like, I can't. I just don't know where to find a good, happy medium.
Yeah, this is why millions of people go to the Sydney Opera House to hear music because the acoustics and the way that's designed, it sounds different than you would if you're standing downtown in Roswell.
Right. But anyway, we worked really, really hard, and we are glad that it's over. But now we're kind of working on the cleanup.
But I always like to point that out, because I get it. Yeah, everyone's got their nitpick thing or this, and we all will do that because that's what human beings do. But you got to sometimes understand it's the way the thing is. It's just I can wish that grass to not be green all I want, but it's green. That's what it is.
You want to hear something funny? The biggest complaint I got.
Yeah.
Barbara, can you do anything about this heat? And that's like, yeah, sure, I'll work on that.
If I could do that, I would be doing a lot bigger things than just the Main Street Roswell director.
Right.
I feel like I'd have a bigger job.
Yeah, I think.
It was a great event, and we were really happy to have the volunteers and the people that helped us feed the volunteers too. Like Toro Bravo gave us tacos, Roswell Donuts gave us donuts, McDonald's helped us out.
Nice.
Candy and Ike Beeman came and made homemade meatball sandwiches.
Nice.
A pizza center gave us a ton of great pizzas.
Sounds like if you're a volunteer and you left hungry, it's kind of your own fault.
Yeah. I mean, there was some food there. There was.
I mean, you had me at El Toro Bravo Tacos, and now you keep rolling off with all this other stuff. I'm like, dang, that's great.
Yeah, and a pizza center, they kind of surprised me. They've got a pretty extensive menu,
I love their sandwiches.
Spaghetti and meatball sandwiches, hamburgers. It's not just pizza, Philly cheesesteaks.
And they kind of go more Chicago style with their pizza. So if you prefer that style, you're probably going to like them, Now, we can have the New York Chicago debate all day, and you can argue with them about that. That's as old as time. But, if you prefer Chicago style, you're probably going to love their pizza a little bit.
I don't know, but I like what they brought us.
Yeah, they have good
thin
pizza.
crust.
Yes.
It was really good.
Yeah, they kind of, but their sandwiches are a 10. Their salads are a 10. So if you're not in the mood for pizza, go to a pizza center anyway. They got everything that's
right.
not
I mean,
pizza
that's
too.
you know, hamburger. They have green chili
Club sandwiches, things like that. They got it all. So,
yep, they got all kinds of great stuff. So anyway, you already talked about the farmers market, so I had that on my list to talk about. But we do want to tell you about an event happening tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow starting at 10 o'clock at 100 West Walnut.
West Walnut.
Okay.
Yes.
West Walnut. That's right there by Rugged Trade and Alien City Heat.
Yeah,
and
just up the
Foxwood
street here.
Gilbraith.
A couple blocks down from where we're at now. Here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There's going to be a huge block party going on out there.
Okay.
They've got watermelon eating contest for the kids, a green chili cheeseburger contest, basketball tournaments, cornhole tournaments. There's a car show. I mean, I think they're going to have bouncy houses.
I would love to see someone enter the watermelon and cheeseburger eating contest.
I don't know that.
I respect that. If you're going like, no, I'm doing 2 eating contests today.
Yeah.
I don't know what you should eat. The cheeseburger one is like a cooked one.
Oh,
they're judging the cooked
not for
burgers.
quantities. Okay.
I believe. Don't quote me on that.
But it's their first one, so they're hoping to make it an annual event.
So we're trying to make the best one, not eat the most of it.
Yes.
I got you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That makes sense.
There should be plenty of food, fun, and games out there, though.
So that all starts about 10 a.m. tomorrow?
It starts at 10 a.m., and if you're not pre-registered for one of the contests and you want to be in, you need to be there probably a little before 10.
So get around, like I said, around Walnut, South Main Walnut area about 10 o'clock and just kind of get you a place to park and meander around and hang out for the block party there.
Sure, and look it up on Facebook. They do have places that you can click to register and different things like that. So you might want to look at their Facebook.
You could have a really busy morning because if you feel like doing the fun run with Boys and Girls Club for the health fair at the convention center, and then right at 8 they're starting their stuff, and you can hang out there till about 10, and then make your way down here and be a part of the block party.
You got to get the farmers market in between.
Oh
there,
yeah,
Mike.
somewhere in the middle. Okay, so be there at 6, 7, right at 7 for that. Hang out in the farmers market. Then at 8, head on over to the health fair.
To the health
hang
fair.
out to about 10, and come back down to
Rugged Trade.
To Rugged Trade there.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the Liberty and the community theaters having their Ease event Saturday night.
That's
tomorrow night out to Liberty. So meander on over there that evening.
I mean, we got to. I mean, when people say there's nothing to do around here, I don't think you're paying attention.
And I probably missed 10 things. That's just the 5 or 6 that's going on right now off the top of my head. So,
that's going to be really cool. Also at the Liberty, I got invited to that. I'm trying to figure out how to squeeze that in within all my schedules. Also,
well, are you going to dress in 1920s clothes?
Oh, I don't know. I have to go somewhere to find something like that.
I'm going to try. I have a little bit, but I don't have a big staple of costuming.
Well, I have a friend that used to work at the Ocotillo, so she's got kind of those costumes sitting around sometimes. So
Well, good news is a lot of my clothes are old and dated, so I might just have some that just so happen to fit that category.
That'd be pretty dated.
I'm 782. People don't realize that. But like you said, there's so much going on. If you've never been to the farm, the grower farming, I always call it farm and garden market. I know it's farmers and growers. The farmers market on downtown here.
Yeah,
7 o'clock, like you said, you gotta go, and it's different each week. If you came in June. It's going to be way different. I mean, not June, but if you came that first week of July or part of July there, and now, and that's the last time you've been there, I guarantee you're going to see 10 times more stuff this time.
Well,
because the summer progresses.
Because your garden is growing and things are popping up that weren't there last week, and now they're here.
Like chilies probably weren't available that first week.
Yeah.
But now they are. They're full in a week and all that stuff.
Oh, but you'll have your opportunity for chili really soon.
And then I guarantee at the end of the month, into September, you're going to find a whole different batch of stuff out there. You might probably even start seeing some jack-o'-lanterns and things probably towards the end of the farmers market there, September time frame.
Yeah, because right in the middle of Farmers Market, we have the Chili Cheese Festival coming up, you guys.
Another staple event,
it's coming around the corner, September 22nd, 23rd, so you'll be hearing more about that.
Speaking of eating things, there's more things to eat. That one is a quantity. The jalapeno eating contest is an annual part of the Chili Cheese Festival.
Well, we don't know. That's not us. That's a Piñata Fest.
Piñata Fest. See, I always get these. Ice cream.
No, we do ice cream.
The ice cream. That's the chili.
And we also do ice cream eating contest.
I know about foods. That's where I go with food. That's where they eat this food. That's where they eat this food.
But we will be roasting chilies out there.
You can't.
The Chili Cheese Festival.
That smell is going to permeate to the entire festival.
And that marks October. That marks fall. That is know that the seasons are changing.
Just off I know it hasn't happened in the last couple of years. COVID really did this, but is Leprino starting to get on board yet, or are we still a little out on that one?
I'm still trying to reach out to the right people.
Because I know that was something that was kind of a tradition of the chili
Somebody
cheese.
from Leprino would reach out to me. I would really appreciate it. We'd love to restart those Leprino tours. However, I already secured the demonstration, milking cow demonstration.
Okay.
So we're going to have a live cow with demonstrations and talk about cows, because that's what this festival is about.
Well,
it's about our industry.
Guess what makes cheese? It's dairy.
Yes. Yeah.
And you're going to be demonstrating how to milk a cow, Barbara?
Yeah, somebody is, not me.
Like
Alan.
the old hand.
Not me.
Alan is.
I'm a city boy. I grew up in D.C. area, but I remember in like middle school we did like a field trip to a place called Hard Bargain Farm, which is kind of like you probably had about 10, like heirloom acres or something. Kind of something similar to that. But and one of the things was we got to go and milk a cow, and so they took us in there and we did it the hand way with
manually.
Manually. It's the only time I've ever done it since and before then, but I have milked a cow once.
Well, this is a mechanical thing,
and I pulled on the wrong levers. I pulled the right levers, not the wrong ones.
Well, that's good to know. I thought you were going to say I never drank milk again after that.
No, I remember to pull the right levers. Don't pull the wrong ones. You pull the wrong ones, you get other.
You might get kicked, right?
But
so,
I would like to see
so we're already planning for that. So we'll give you more information as time goes on. But if you want to be a vendor for that, you can find our vendor forms already.
Now's the time to sign up.
Yeah, on mainstreetroswell.org.
Yes.
Is it .org or .com? Yes, .org.
.org.
It's .org, yeah.
Yeah, and then that's a great resource if you want to be involved in any of these events. If you want to volunteer, that's
Absolutely.
a great way.
We need volunteers all the time.
If you're wanting to be a part of, volunteer, or maybe you want to be a band that plays at one of these events, if you're a local band, kind of get your name on the radar in there, and when these events come up, they reach out and say, hey, we are looking for some live bands. Would you guys be interested in playing a couple hours at the festival here for this, or something like that? That's a great way to get a little shine for your band and stuff like that too. So especially with like Chili Cheese Festival weekend, maybe if you want to do, maybe got like a Tejano or one of those bands. They're always looking for those to kind of set the tone. So when they smell chili, but then they hear your music, and it kind of,
and we're keeping it kind of more country, more. I'm saying down home is kind of what we'd like to do for that event.
Southeast New Mexico pride kind of thing. Yeah, I
so the music's going to be great. The weather's going to be perfect by that time. So, yes,
we're going to work on wood. At some point, we'll be below 100 again.
We believe it to be true. And pretty quick, we're going to be saying, man, it's cold out here.
I'm going to say it right now. We are forbidden from complaining about cold weather here in December. If I hear anybody, be like, no.
Oh, I definitely will.
We have 7 months of 100. You will take this 50 and like it.
Put on a coat and smile.
It's 40 today. Good for you. Deal with it, because it was 105 forever.
That's right.
And I can keep adding clothes. I can only take so many off for the other way.
Right.
So
that's right.
I'll be sitting here and just be a big stuffed bear just sitting here, but I'll be warm.
That's right. That's right. And so talking about coming up really quick here, you guys, it's back to school. So this
tax-free weekend.
This tax-free holiday began today, actually at 12 a.m. on Friday, and it goes all the way to August the 4th and concludes on Sunday. Oh, no, that's right. And concludes on Sunday, August the 6th at midnight. So backpack, they just recently had that backpack. A lot of people are giving backpacks away. As a matter of fact, that's what they're doing at the community health fair as well. I just heard about that.
They'll be giving away school supplies and all that. Yeah.
And so they had a national night out this last Tuesday also. So they gave out a lot of backpacks. So if your kids need school supplies,
and a couple
or need
of private organizations have had like haircut and back to school. That's like the Car Club did one a couple weeks ago at the high school. So they've been some of those. But if you need to buy not just school supplies, but clothing, electronics to a degree. Now, they won't let you buy Armani suits and things like that, but up to a certain point, clothing's tax-free, shoes, all of that stuff. Supplies electronics, computers, and things up to certain dollar amounts.
Yeah.
That's why they say you can't buy an Armani suit, because they're like, no, you don't need a $3,000 suit. Yeah. We're not going to tax you that. But if you need, jeans and T-shirts and whatever, go for it.
And you come downtown. because downtown shop local, come downtown. They will be doing the tax-free holiday themselves, so please come downtown.
Go to the state's website. You can see exactly what is covered and not covered under the tax-free and stuff, but it pretty much clothing, anything school-related, pretty much counts.
Shoes,
I think you can even make a case for some appliances and things.
I think maybe computers possibly.
Yeah, computers definitely part of it. If you want to get a computer this week, tablets, anything that does that kind of media, I even think TVs and stuff fall into that because they're monitors, and you can in essence use them for work and things like that.
That's true. So
I think they
know.
fall under that category too.
So
but
check it out.
Go to the state and research that. But you could save a lot of money this weekend doing that shopping. So and shop local and support these. Like if you come downtown, like She's a Dandy and all that. It's a good weekend. Clothing tax free. You know what I'm saying?
Talking about She's a Dandy. I printed this because I thought that was pretty cool. Instead of a dope dealer, hope dealer. So, she's got all kinds of really cool T-shirts and things like that. So I know we all get to go back to school soon, but in the meantime, there's all kinds of fun stuff you can do downtown. I was showing this to Alan earlier. I didn't know a lot about this, but you want to tell him about that, Alan? Over at the Spaceport.
Spaceport Roswell, over there on East 2nd. I think it's 121 East 2nd. They've got a book your journey kind of a thing.
Okay.
This is a
virtual reality.
Yeah, it's a virtual reality flight.
Okay.
They do want you to go in and
Maybe
book online.
Online.
Yeah, they do want you to book online.
Book in advance. Don't show up. Okay.
Right. If you haven't been to the Spaceport Roswell and you haven't done the virtual reality, you should go and give it a shot. I've done it. It's really, really cool.
Do they have a website, or can you just Google Spaceport Roswell?
Yep, Spaceport
and then it should
Roswell.
pop right up.
Yep, it'll
maybe put an NM in there.
You can look at their Facebook also. They've got a lot of great information.
So you can book through those. Just Google them in on your phone there.
But it's all virtual. If you've never done virtual before, they make me sick. But some people can handle all of that.
I thought it was great.
Yeah, it's unique. Like if you ever Roswell Christmas Railway, that's like if you've ever been in the last few years. Jacob kind of has a VR experience thing in there, and think that's similar to it. I think this is a little more amped up than that, but that's kind of an introductory level to that VR and experience because you put those goggles on, you're looking around, you're like, man, I'm in the desert now. You know what I mean? Or wherever they put you.
Yeah.
And you're fully immersed, and I'm waiting.
And you feel like you're flying, or you're going up or down.
I'm waiting for the next generation where they're going to add smells and things, where you're in a rainforest. Next thing you know, you're like, I smell rain. I smell. I'm waiting. That's going to be next. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Kind of like they do at Disneyland or whatever.
It's going to be. We're looking at it at its worst level right now. Yeah. Imagine what it looks like in 20 years.
Oh, it's it'll be really cool. So before your kids start school, come downtown, do something fun. Do something fun with the kids. There's all kinds of alien stuff you can do, like the Spaceport and Bricktown. I mean, there's all kinds of fun stuff downtown. Go to the Alien Museum if you've not ever been there.
Absolutely.
Do a little bit of shopping. CS Designs is doing something kind of cool coming up really quick here. They're doing a paint party, a 90s paint party.
Okay.
So you can dress up. You can bring dress up, be prepared to have fun, and do some painting there.
Nice. Come in your best Clueless attire.
That's August the 24th, right? So it's coming up really quick here. So you might want to visit with Cheyenne there. And
maybe watch movies like Clueless for inspiration.
Yeah, maybe that's a good idea for the 90s.
If you didn't live the 90s, of course.
And then some of you might need a nice new watch or a nice new ring, and you can get that at Bullock's Jewelry. And right now they have a really cool special thing that they're selling. And I'll let you read that, Alan, because I'm thinking to myself,
it's the natural blue sapphire ring.
Okay.
With a 1.88 carat set in 14 karat white gold.
Wow.
Thanks, Barbara, for that.
I couldn't read it.
That
so
sounds
I thought
fancy.
I'd let you read it.
Right. It really, this picture looks amazing.
Sounds the picture looks beautiful when I can see it from
it looks
here.
like something that maybe a princess or queen of England or something.
That's going to turn ahead if you got that on your finger.
Yeah, that really
and for folks that maybe new to the area, but Bullock's Jewelry is a staple downtown. It's been here almost as long as Roswell has. It's there's a couple businesses, especially here in the main street, Roswell Seed, which is just a block or two away from Bullock's Jewelry. These are staples in the Roswell community. Bullock's Jewelry has been around.
What's his great grandfather?
Go to the historical site, look at old pictures, and then you see Bullock's in the back. You see Roswell Seed in the back in some of those pictures.
And they really do a lot for our community as well. Bullock's,
absolutely.
Bullock's really does come through.
When they're not, selling jewelry and stuff, they're involved in their social or their organizations that they pick as their passions and help their community through those ways. And that's exactly what you want in your communities. And
That's true.
So go check out that beautiful ring and see what else they've got. Maybe you feel like that's a little too rich for my blood, but they got some other stuff.
Did you see the price? I'll show it to you. Okay, let's not talk about the price. But you might need a watch.
It's a jewelry store. I know it's expensive.
You have to go around it. Don't look in the windows. No, not really. You guys look in the windows. They've got great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but that's that support these merchants. Come down with this tax-free weekend. Take advantage of some of that. I check them with Bullocks. I bet there's some stuff that may qualify in there too. Maybe some ID bracelets or things that might kind of call in that
watches
tax-free
work, I
thing.
wonder?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't. You have to look at the list.
I
but
don't know. I don't know about
you'd
that.
be surprised at some of the stuff that qualifies as needs for school and stuff, and you can make an argument for most of it. And that's either way. Who cares? If it's available, take advantage of it.
Yeah.
You wanted it, you needed it. If it's for school or not,
take advantage.
It don't matter. You need it. You need it. So, what else we got here? I just saw the time. So probably
nothing much. I just want to tell you guys that at the end of let's see, when was it? The 28th of August. I can't remember the date on it. We had a visioning. I'm sorry, July. We brought somebody down from New Mexico Main Street. His name was Will Powell.
Okay.
And we did what was called a visioning and reimagining our Main Street. So I just want to encourage people. Main Street Roswell. We're here to help to revitalize our Main Street. We want your input. We want to know what you would like to see happen. And so this is the beginning of a lot of conversations we're going to have about what we'd like to see our Main Street look like. Sure. What do we want to add? I mean, those lights that are there didn't happen on purpose. The alien lights, somebody thought about those and came up with them. The what do you call those things? The planters with flowers in them. Those are things they thought.
Generations of Roswellians doing their thing.
That we do things, and so we're at this place already to start looking at our Main Street master plan and figure out what is it that people before us wanted to do here, and see what we can move forward to the next.
Look at the veteran stuff on the Chavis County Courthouse lawn. At some point, someone said,
somebody
we need
said,
to put this memorial here, we need to put this here, and that's how the time evolves.
Yeah, that's right. And so we got to put it out there, to put it on a list.
So are you looking for not only just Main Street merchants and things, but the community at large?
Yeah, the community as a whole. You know what I'm saying? If you want to reach out to us, give me a call. I'm happy to visit with anybody. If you say, at one point you guys thought about doing this. What happened to that?
Gotcha.
There's big things that I'm thinking about, which I don't know when it'll ever happen. But traffic calming is what I'd really like to visit about. If you've ever been on Main Street, you know what it's like sometimes, trucks and motorcycles and cars, and it's kind of hard to even hear yourself think.
And from what I understand, it's a state thing, not a city thing.
Yes, it is.
But we need to time those lights better. Those 3-4 lights between 2nd Street and 6th Street there.
Yes.
They need to time them so you don't get stuck at everyone, or, you know what I mean?
Sometimes you get lucky and get all green ones like I did last night.
And so I feel like some genius can time these lights better. But I know that's not anybody here can do that. That's someone in Santa Fe that's
that's all
because of that road.
Yeah, and Mike, that's all coordination.
Yeah.
Part of it is Department of Transportation, City of Roswell.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hoops to jump through, but you can't even start to jump if you don't know what you're jumping towards or what you're wanting to do.
But I think that's one I've always and to be honest, there's others on in town too that aren't in the Main Street corridor. But you're like, you know what? Someone needs to study this light and pay attention to, because the way the traffic thing's going now, it's not set up correctly.
Right,
it's not being efficient.
But even if you're not on Main Street, Main Street is ours. It's the community's.
Absolutely.
And we all spend time on it. So let's work together to make it a fun and interesting
have their
place
view
to be.
and how they want it from their perspective.
Yes.
And then you want to hear the customer, the people that live here, when they say, what do you want to do on a Friday night? I don't know, let's go downtown and see what's going on.
And then the third group is tourists.
Yes.
I mean, you've got tourists that come to town. I have many a night that I get a call, or later in the evening, let's say maybe the afternoon, maybe 4 to 6. Somebody is coming to town. I'm from somewhere. Hey, so what is there to do on Main Street right now? Ooh, wow. Well, let me see what I can figure out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
if I would go downtown, what am I going to run into?
What am I going to run into? What can I go see? Where can I get coffee? Where can I buy a T-shirt? So there's all kinds of things that we can do on Main Street.
And it's so important for a town of this size, Roswell, because we're just all the time. We're smack dab in the middle. Like you go to New York City or big cities, everything's open 24/7 because that's the life.
Right. That's the life.
You leave outside of that, and especially the smaller the town, the earlier things close up at night. 5 o'clock, it turns into a ghost town. 6 o'clock. Roswell has a bit of that, But we also got a bit of the New York City, too. So, it is that thing where, yes, there's parts of this town that close up at 4:57 p.m. and boom, it's done. But then we have the Main Street Quarter and other places like it. It's like, yeah, we have some of those businesses, but then it's like we shift. Okay, the daytime thing is happening, but around 5, everything shifts. The daytime people start going home, and the nighttime people start coming out.
That's the part we're working on right there, Mike. That's the part we want to work on, on more nightlife, more restaurants, more family-friendly events happening downtown. Stay open late.
Sure.
So those are part of our vision.
It's a big ball that we have to juggle because we got to have a foot in both. We still want small town feel in some aspects because we love that. But at the same time, we sure like the conveniences of a city. Yeah. And sometimes I have a hankering for a cheeseburger at 9 o'clock at night.
That's right.
And I like to, you know what I mean?
Or listening to some music.
Yeah,
somewhere.
or I want to go out and hang out and have a beer and hang out with some friends at 10 o'clock at night.
But you can do that right now over at Peppers, and that is part of our district. So don't forget that, or
Absolutely.
the Liberty. The High Q.
Billy Ray's.
Yeah, Billy Ray's. I mean,
fortunately for Peppers, you don't have to, everyone knows Peppers, so we don't have to promote them as much. You just say Peppers, I'll be there anyway. What's going on?
I don't know. Let's sit outside.
But they've earned that reputation by years and years of doing what they're doing, and so that's where they're.
So we're still trying to keep it some on Main Street. So we'll see what we can do on that, you guys. But just know that we're not all about events. We're actually working to figure out how to make Main Street a fun and viable and interesting place to come visit.
But that being said, come out to Garden Market in our next event Saturday morning.
That's right.
But that's a tradition. That's a staple. You call it an event. I call it a tradition here in Roswell. Because as long as I've been here, during the summers on Saturday morning, there's people out there selling produce and stuff. And I would be upset if I came through on a Saturday and I saw there was nobody there. I'd be like, that ain't right. Nope. That's not how it's supposed to be here. So, good deal. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you, Mike.
We'll
for
see
the
y'all
time.
next time.
We appreciate it.
Anytime.
Have a good weekend.
We'll see you all next time.
All right, thank you.
All right, 9:58. Let me play this commercial before we kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Hey, Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Trustmark is one of the only roofing companies that's also a licensed commercial and residential general contractor.
Wow.
I know, who cares, right? Well, you should care. You see, a licensed roofer can install a new roof on your home, but really can't handle structural problems underneath. So if your roof needs reframing or your chimney needs a water-diverting cricket, you may need to call a licensed general contractor. And coordinating two companies for your roofing job can get costly and messy fast. As a licensed roofer and general contractor, Trustmark can install a stunning new roof on your home and handle structural issues. This saves you time, money, hassle, and even makes it easier to file an insurance claim. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit us at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first. Do you struggle with acne, eczema, or worry about skin cancer? Research suggests that 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer by the age of 70, but when detected early, 99% of skin cancer cases are curable. At Epiphany Dermatology of Roswell, we place special emphasis on prevention, screening, and treatment, so schedule your annual skin exam by calling us at 575-208-7050 or by visiting our website at epiphanydermatology.com and get checked today. Prevention is key.
The inventor of Pringles is buried in a Pringles can. I wonder if they got their hands stuck.
Mr. Trump appearing before a magistrate in Washington's federal courthouse after being indicted earlier on 4 felony counts by the Justice Department. Following his appearance, Mr. Trump spoke with reporters.
You can't beat him, you persecute him, or you prosecute him. We can't let this happen in America. Thank you very much.
It is a temporary victory somewhat for the Biden administration.